game. It's a game of teams going in opposite directions. Limestone has won, as you said, 6 of its last 7, its last 3 games. Meanwhile, Barton has lost its last 3 games, including last week to Catawba, a game they felt like they should have won. They were up 21-10 at one point, let that game slip away. We were here 2 weeks ago when they lost to Wingate at home on homecoming. A lot of emotion in this game. Emotions are running very high. It is senior night, as you said. And I think that puts a little bit more responsibility on Chip Hester throughout the weekend, including in today's game, to try and keep his guys settled, try to keep them calm. Let's face it, losing stinks. And when you lose repeatedly, it's hard sometimes to get your morale up. And so Chip Hester has really been trying to preach to this team this week the mental side of this whole equation, of really locking in mindset-wise. And that's going to be a bit of a chore because it is senior night, and you have lost 3 games in a row. So a lot of responsibility on the coaching staff and on the players in this game in particular to be locked in for a really tough opponent in Limestone with a superb offense.
That's right. And being locked in and having a one-game mentality is really key here tonight for both of these teams, especially so for Barton, trying to end 2023 with some momentum, round out. There's only 1 game left after tonight. Same thing for Limestone, but they are one of the hottest teams in the South Atlantic Conference. It is time now before kickoff, as kickoff is getting near, for our players to watch and also our keys to the game. We'll start first with players to watch, and we'll flip around and join you as well. Check it out right there on your screen. We'll start first for Limestone, Armand, our players to watch for the Limestone Saints. We'll go defense to offense. We'll start out first with the linebacker, Ty Cade, recording a season-high almost 3 tackles for loss back in Week 9, and he's one of the best on defense for the Saints.
Yeah, a lot of talk about this offense, but Ty Cade is a force to be reckoned with on the defensive side of this Limestone team. One of the big reasons they've been on this hot streak of late.
And now offense, from defense to offense. The running back, Trey Stewart, 3rd in the South Atlantic Conference in rushing yards per game, and he's one of the best in the nation as well, kind of Limestone's answer to Jordan Terrell.
Yeah, Trey Stewart coming off a 105-yard day last week. And you make a good point. We've got splendid running backs on both sides. Trey Stewart over at Limestone and, of course, Terrell over here at Barton. So really interesting matchup. We'll watch how both these backs perform in this big game here this evening.
And the hero from last week in that win with 1 second left for Limestone. That's how little time was left for the Saints last Saturday in that home win, 28-24 over Newberry. 1 second left, and it was the quarterback, Dustin Noller, to Jelani Baker, who caught the winning score last week, and he's also the South Atlantic Conference leader, Armand, in receiving yards per game, among other stats.
A huge reason this offense is one of the best in the South Atlantic Conference. Keep your eye on Baker. We most certainly will throughout this evening.
And now, players to watch for the Barton Bulldogs. We'll start first with a guy who we haven't really talked about all season long, but Isaiah Jacobs, the wideout, second-year wideout from not too far from here, just to the west in Raleigh. He had a career day last Saturday at Catawba, Armand. 5 catches, 129, and a touchdown.
A really good time for a breakout performance, and Barton hopes that momentum will follow him into this game today as they try to take down this high-powered offense of Limestone.
And if you're trying to go one offense to the other and be high-powered, obviously if you're Barton, you'll need Jordan Terrell to do Jordan Terrell-like things. 151-yard, 2-touchdown outing at Catawba last Saturday, Armand. That was his 6th game of the season of at least 140 yards, and he's got a number he needs to hit these final 2 weeks to hit an even bigger number for his career.
You know, the last time we were here, he hit the 1,000-yard mark for the season in the game against Wingate. He's just 52 away, as you said, from that 5,000 mark for his career. Just another little storyline in this game, which is chock full of them.
It always is. Every week in the South Atlantic Conference, it seems there's always an abundance of storylines. And we go now from offense to defense. The linebacker, Matt Smith. Everyone talks so much about Shane Perry around here in Wilson, but how about Matt Smith? He has surged late in the season, a run of at least 9 tackles in each of the juniors' last 5 games. He's also really good nationally in that same stat.
Good 5'11", 225-pound linebacker, and as you said, so much attention goes to Mr. Perry, but Matt Smith has been really standing up for this defense. They'll need another big performance out of Smith today if they're going to take down Limestone.
Okay, those are our players to watch for our home finale here in 2023. Time now, Armand. It's your turn. Keys to the game.
Keys to the game, number 1, disrupt Dustin. You know how much I love alliteration, Corey Hodges.
Right.
As you mentioned, Dustin Noller is superb coming into this game. at the top of the list in terms of passing in the South Atlantic Conference. Establish Jordan early. Jordan Terrell's got to get his carries, and the better he is, the better chance Barton has to win this game and win the moment. Block out all the noise, block out the senior night, block out the 3 losses, play to play, down to down. That's how Barton's going to win this game this evening as Barton gets set to kick it away to Limestone.
Yeah, right on time. Players to watch, keys to the game as we get it all set up for you for senior night here in Wilson, North Carolina. And happy to have each and every one of you aboard for one more ride here in 2023 for our home team. We've got 6 years until 2029. Don't get ahead of yourself. And that's what Chip Hester was preaching to his team this week, Armand. As I cover my own self, he said, stay in the moment. The moment's now as Barton kicks it away to Limestone. Huggins with the boot, and off we go on this Saturday night in early November in northeastern North Carolina. The Saints getting the return just past the 30-yard line, looking to mark it around the 32 or 33-yard line. And that's where Dustin Noller and the Limestone Saints will come out and set up their offense for the first time tonight.
Really important as Noller and this offense gets set to take the field. Really important for Barton to get an early start, especially against such a high-powered offense in Limestone. Noller's so good, top passer in the conference. Really important for Barton to get a good stop here defensively early in this game.
Saints' first drive of the night will start at the 33-yard line. Dustin Noller and the Limestone Saints. 6 wins in the last 7 games. The give will go to Trey Stewart. Stewart ahead for about 2 yards, trying to get his way to the 35, maybe right at it. Second down coming up as Stewart, the 5'10", 190 junior running back who has been on a tear this season, on the ground.
Barton has something to prove defensively. Gave up over 330 yards rushing to Catawba last week.
Got 2, so at the 35-yard line. Here comes the end around now by Jelani Baker. Baker at around the 40 and just past it. They'll mark him just short of the 45 at the 44, so pickup of 9 that time. And that should be enough, and it is, for a Limestone first down. Baker out of the backfield on the end around.
Like that little push pass, get him going around the perimeter.
Not even 1 minute in, we are now, and here's Limestone 6 yards from midfield. The 6-3, 6-1 in the conference Limestone Saints. Dustin Noller, clean pocket. Noller fires, complete to Mikey Jones. Jones at the 45 of Barton. That is a first down. Takes a crowd to bring Mikey Jones down. One of those in on the tackle for Barton was Dylan Williams. But the Saints are now into Barton territory.
Really curious to see how Barton defends against this offense today. How much do they blitz? How much man coverage do they play? How much zone coverage do they play? That time, great job by the quarterback. The wide receiver settles into the defense and makes the catch for the first down.
1st and 10 at the 45 of Barton here for Limestone. Noller dropping all the time he needs to fire, complete to Mikey Jones. Jones tackled down right at the 5-yard line to set up 1st and goal for Limestone on a big pass play of 40 yards.
And that's a great job by Jones. They run a play fake there, draw the linebackers up, and Jones has to run across the field a bit to get open against that zone defense.
Okay, they'll call it 39 yards on the pickup from the 6-yard line, setting up a screen. That is quick strike offense for Limestone. Drew Dixon, but we have a flag down. He was trying to utilize the screen.
Yeah, the flag was thrown at the 6-yard line near side here. You would think this is against the offense. Jeffrey Jones is the referee.
So it is on Limestone. Saints backing up now, and they will mark it at the 16-yard line. So that loss of 10 makes it now 1st and goal, but from 10 yards in arrears here for Limestone. 1st and goal from the 16 for the Saints. Give goes to Trey Stewart. Stewart looking for blockers. Stewart pounding his way ahead. He's just short, looking like they'll mark him at the 6-yard line, so he gets the penalty yardage back. 2nd and goal coming up.
really good job by the left tackle, number 74, Brandon Onora. Got really great push at the line of scrimmage, and that's how the back got so much room up towards the 6-yard line.
Trey Stewart, one of our players to watch for Limestone, entering 939 yards, 6 touchdowns. He averages just over 117 rush yards per game. Stewart's going to get it here on 2nd and goal. Stewart trying to get a push. He gets inside the 5. It'll set up 3rd and goal. From the 3-yard line is where it'll be marked here for Limestone.
You can see Limestone operates with such great pace, such great timing offensively. They're switching things up, different personnel groupings. Mike Furry, the former NFL player and NFL coach, has got this offense humming throughout the season, and they're doing the same thing to start this drive.
3rd and goal from the 3 for Limestone. Stewart is the running back, but it's a little shovel toss and a touchdown for Limestone. Herman McCray, the 4th on the shovel from the quarterback, Dustin Noller. Noller improvising and putting some dirt on Barton early. 6-0 Limestone Saints over the Barton Bulldogs.
That was wicked. What a play call.
Yeah.
Little inside pitch. You use the running back as a decoy to draw the defenders. And the pitch right in the middle of the defense for the first 6 points of the game.
Daniel Deneen Jr. coming off of a nice game last Saturday at home against Newberry puts up the extra point. 11:26 to go in the opening quarter. Limestone has struck first. They lead 7-0 over Barton on Flow Sports. Okay, we're back here on Flow Sports with Barton trailing early. Limestone up 7-0. Still early stages first quarter. As we're back here on Flow Sports. This first quarter brought to you by State Farm agent Chuck Finkley, an official football sponsor of the Barton Bulldogs. Thanks to Chuck and State Farm for their support all season long from everyone here at Barton College and the Bulldogs. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, and team here with you. Saints with the early strike, and Barton getting ready to get their first touch of the night offensively. Return comes out to around the 23-yard line, brought out by Taekwon Bama Patterson, the electric running back who could have quite a future here at Barton once Jordan Terrell moves on, but it is still time for Terrell to show everything he's got. He's looking to especially shine tonight on senior day or senior night. The Bulldogs' first drive tonight, Armand, will start from the 23-yard line. And again, 52 yards is what Terrell needs to get to 5K.
Good to see Jaquan Lynch back out there, the starting quarterback for the Barton Bulldogs.
Right, that's a very important thing to mention, Armand, is that Lynch is back after Tyler Flippin got the start last Saturday at Catawba. Here's Jordan Terrell. Terrell will pick up a first down, rolls just shy of the 35, and that's an early chain mover by Jordan Terrell.
Chip Hester knows the identity of this offense. He knows that everything revolves around Jordan Terrell. They pound him early off that right side, and he charges ahead to pick up a nice gain of 11 yards and a first down.
Terrell got back to his usual work last week, over 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, enters 1193, 7 scores on the ground. He averages almost 133 rushing yards per game. 1st and 10 from the 34. Give it to Terrell again. Terrell just almost body slams his way ahead right to the 40-yard line. Looks like a pickup of 6, and that will set up 2nd down for Barton.
Nice job by Terrell. Limestone stacked it up there, and they brought the safety, John Gregory. And Terrell just went, oops, I'll get around you, and picks up a gain of 6 yards.
So the ball at the 40 for Barton. Chip Hester earlier this week, you look back, Barton was leading. I was following it on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it this past Saturday when Barton was on the road at Chip Hester's former stomping grounds, as they say, at Catawba. Barton was up 21-10 in that game, but they lost it. So looking for some revenge here 1 week later, get back on the right track. A short gain for Terrell will, coincidentally, set up 3rd and short for Barton, Armand. And this was a spot the Bulldogs were in last Saturday at Catawba, and Paul Durham of the Wilson Times mentioned it earlier this week in talking to Chip Hester in that Chatting with Chip segment. Barton struggled at times on 3rd down last Saturday trying to keep their drives alive.
Yeah, Chip Hester talked about avoiding the drive killers.
Yeah.
Missed completions, penalties, and turnovers. Here's a big opportunity to move the ball forward on a 3rd down.
3rd and 2. Give Terrell, but Terrell gets stuffed in the backfield, and it will be 4th down as Colin Vaughn was there to bring down Terrell for Limestone, and the Bulldogs will punt.
Colin Vaughn, 6'3", 290 pounds. And this is a veteran defense of Limestone. These are not novices on the field for this Saints team. They come out aggressive to start, knowing that Barton wants to establish the run game, and they're there to answer the challenge and get Barton's offense off the field.
Set up, back ready for the return is the also electric Drew Dixon, who's standing right now just inside the 25, ready on this punt by Bear Huggins, who got run into late. It's fair caught by Dixon, who got backed up to around the 10-yard line. No flags that time, and that's something interesting because Limestone last week had their own issues with roughing the kicker penalties that set up part of that crazy 4th quarter win for Limestone down in Gaffney and that 28-24 win over Newberry. But everything clean there, and here's Limestone on their next drive.
A moment of adversity for this Barton team. Moment of adversity for this Barton team, and I'm wondering what those guys are thinking right now, We've been here before, though. That's got to be the message to your team. We've been here before. We've had some moments like this before.
Okay, we're back.
Good way to close it out.
Good
Corey.
way. Great way to close
Closing it out with you Limestone and Barton.
Hey, I'm enjoying every minute of it. You never know when your next dose of football is going to come, so take advantage of it. 1st and goal from the 12. A little bit of movement early. Is this a false start or is this offsides? Yeah, looks like a false start on Limestone. They're backing up.
A little pre-snap shuffle there.
Yeah. Appears to be. So 1st and 15 from the 7. That's 5 yards in arrears for Limestone. Pre-snap, post-snap penalty, some of the things that Chip Hester talked about earlier this week. And getting backed up. Trey Stewart, speaking of getting backed up, he loses 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and even longer here. Now from the 5-yard line, 2nd and 17, 2-yard loss for the running back Stewart.
Yeah, sometimes you just win up front, and that time Barton won and snuffed that play out immediately.
Stewart's going to split out. Now he comes back. Here's Noller looking. Picked off. No. We'll wait. They may call this incomplete. Drew Dixon, the intended receiver, dropped, so it's 3rd and long as Dixon was trying to work near side. Covered well, but it's 3rd down.
Almost a huge moment for Barton in this game, but They do have Limestone backed up here, and this is an opportunity to get this Limestone offense off the field and get your Barton offense some good field position here.
Yeah, that was almost a pick for Mike Webb that time. Webb was the one all over Dixon. It's 3rd and long, time for Barton's defense, and an early stand. Noller rolling out. Noller has plenty of open turf. He steps out at the 15, and that is somewhat short of the yard to gain, which was the 22-yard line. So he comes up 7 yards short of a first down, and Limestone will punt, and possibly looks like good field position coming up for the Bulldogs.
Drew Dixon was trying to get open on this near side here, and at 6'4", he is always a threat because you know you can trust him with those jump balls. But that's a good win for Barton's defense to get this Limestone team off the field and to reset your offense and hopefully put together a good, long, strong drive here. Well needed, I would say, early in this game to set a tone.
Cameron Johnson back, ready to return. The pressure coming in late on that punt by Brian Fry, and that one bounces and rolls inside the 40. They'll mark it at the 38-yard line. That's where Barton's going to take back over. 7:22 to go in this first quarter. That's a good stand, Armand.
True, it is. And while the Barton offense gets ready to take the field, let's give some love to Tyler Flippin, right? Not easy to hop in there late in the season like that. But Tyler hopped in there, and even though they lost that game last week to Catawba, Tyler did some good work for this team.
Yeah, he was an honorable mention, but we just didn't quite have enough space for him in our players to watch segment. I thought about, in fact, I had most of it typed up and then decided not to send it because weren't sure at first who would start tonight. But yes, you're right, Armand. That's a great mention about what Flippin did last Saturday in a really tough spot. Anyway, 2nd and short coming up as Jaquez Durham catches it. No, they'll mark it a first down. Durham had just enough and picks it up just a yard shy of midfield at the 49. And so a gain of 11 that time for Barton on the Lynch to Durham hookup.
Limestone brings a blitz from the right side of Barton's offensive line. Good job by Lynch of just taking what the defense gives him there out in the flat to pick up the first down.
That was only Durham's 8th catch of the season just now. Back to the run game in Jordan Terrell. Terrell, look at him get through that horde of players and get into Limestone territory. Not enough for the first down. He winds up getting 3 yards on that one. In fact, 4, but he looked like he was initially going to get stopped. He just pounded his way ahead for about 3 yards more.
Yeah, no surprises there, but physicality at the line of scrimmage is going to be so important in this game. With a team like Barton relying so heavily on the run game, they've got to win up front to help Jordan Terrell move and march down the field, getting past the 2nd and 3rd levels of the defense.
2nd and 7 from Limestone's 48. Here's Terrell. Jordan Terrell, you got to tackle him or he may be gone. Terrell still up. Terrell gets it just inside of the 15-yard line as Michael Woodfield was the one who saved the touchdown.
And I just talked about it. You've got to win up front. Barton has some beef up on that offensive line, and that time they dominate Limestone's defensive linemen and those linebackers. And after that, when you get Terrell in open space, man, anything can happen. That's a great play for this Barton offense.
So that right there is a 33-yard rumble by Terrell. So early big play number 1 for Barton's, one of their best ever, if not the best ever in the short history of the return. Here's Lynch, end zone, touchdown. One play after the Terrell rumble, it's Lynch who loops it to Gage Taylor, one of the unheralded running backs for Barton. Gets his time to shine. Taylor in for 6, and the Bulldogs 1 point away from tying this game in the midway stages of the first.
Oh, I just love it. You get those linebackers up. What happens when you have a great run game? You can set up play action. You can set up the passing game. And it worked to perfection that time for the home team.
Yeah, Taylor getting a touchdown. Here's Huggins to add the extra point. He splits them, and it's 7-all. With just over 5 minutes left in this first quarter, Barton has struck back on senior night. 7-all on Flo Sports. It's tied at 7. I know a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Gabe Heinzman and how he had come alive a couple home games ago for Barton. He had done nothing all year, and then he had an eruption of a game a couple home games ago. That was in the home game for Barton against Newberry back on October the 7th. I remember that storyline. It's something similar, Armand, but it's even crazier. For Gage Taylor, before the break, that was his first catch of the season for a touchdown. He had done nothing in the receiving game this season until right now, with 7 quarters to go after this one in this regular season for Barton and Taylor. First catch of the year goes for a touchdown from Lynch.
Such a great story, and I love it about sports. You have these unsung heroes who get their moment in the sun, and they get to shine. And Taylor is an example of that here tonight. I'll tell you what's not shining is the Barton fans with this flag, which is a kickoff out of bounds, which is going to give Limestone the ball up at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see there, because that's going to set up Limestone here with pretty field position at the 35-yard line.
After the penalty, ball is spotted on the 35-yard line, 1st and 10.
There's also an offsides penalty, I believe, on Barton, which was declined. So either way you slice it, Limestone gets it at the 35, 1st and 10.
So the Saints back in action after their first drive of the night. Went for a touchdown. Give goes to Stewart. Stewart gets a yard, maybe 2. Shane Perry in there to really make that a minimal play. In fact, right now it looks like Stewart's going to get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
You know, when guys like Shane Perry get in the hole and meet you, you don't just go down. You go down with fierceness.
Yeah.
Kind of tackling these guys do for Barton.
Shane Perry, the tackle leader, 85 of them coming in, including almost 8 tackles for loss and also 1 sack on the season. Noller goes deep, and that one's pulled in. Will it go the distance? Knocking down the pylon. We'll wait on the officials. They'll call it a touchdown. No, they'll mark it just short. Noller rainbows to Mikey Jones to set this up at the 1.
Mikey shoots down the sideline, and if you see man coverage and Noller has time, he's going to these guys deep. This Limestone offense so good on the outside.
Big play sets it up. Here's a big play defensively to snuff out Jinez Davis in the backfield. Davis doesn't go anywhere. 2nd and goal. In fact, Limestone loses a yard on that play.
Yeah, but to follow up, if these receivers get man coverage and the quarterback gets time with the speed they have, they're going to go deep.
64 yards down here to Mikey Jones. Limestone goes back to Trey Stewart, who hurdles and gets air and gets in for a touchdown. So after Limestone got beneficial field position on the Barton penalty, that big pass play through the air, Noller to Jones, 2 plays later, a touchdown, and Trey Stewart has another as his 2023 banner season on the ground continues. That is his 8th rushing touchdown.
Yeah, you made the point, though, Corey. The penalty sets all that up. Get a 64-yard pass play, and it's too easy for Limestone at that point.
Yeah, that really shrunk the field, got Limestone into immediate plus territory. The extra point is good by Deneen Jr., and it's a 14-7 Limestone lead over Barton. 3:49 to go in this first quarter. Back and forth we go on a Saturday night in Wilson on Flo Sports. just shy of 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, he didn't break that for the extra yard he needed for what could have been his 4th receiving score of the season, but it set Limestone up with perfect position to strike 2 plays later. But everyone talking about Jelani Baker, Armand Brody, coming into this game. Gosh, we had him as one of our Limestone players to watch, but Mikey Jones early. That's 2 really impressive plays early in this first quarter.
Yeah, you're right, and you just made the point I was going to make about Baker. Baker, 10 touchdowns, leading receiver in the conference, and here comes all these other guys, right? But it just goes to show you the amount of talent this Limestone offense has. They come at you from all different directions.
There's a touchback a moment ago on the kickoff, so here's Barton set up at the 25. Their next drive as Terrell gets a yard, looks like 2 yards there, second down coming up. And for Mike Furry of Limestone, he mentioned his journey. He was at Limestone, then he went to the NFL, then he's back in Gaffney, so he's seen both sides of it. I mean, when he got that NFL job, I think he went to Detroit. When he went to the Lions, I mean, I remember just being wide-eyed about it to think, look at what this guy's done. He's back with Limestone, but I think he's back and even better now as a head coach.
And so is the team.
Yeah.
He's a big hit on social media too, isn't he?
He is. Oh, he's got a great football. He's the ultimate football personality guy. Here's Terrell ahead and still going. You talk about a disappearing act. Terrell, you look, he's at the 27. You blink, he's at the 38. It was almost like he was Houdini that time. He just appeared at the 38-yard line. I've never seen that before, ever. How in the world did he get there that quick? It was like a flash.
That's the question I was going to ask you.
Whoa.
Sort of slipping and dipping and getting away from folks and picking up a first down.
I cannot believe what we've just seen. Halloween is over. What's he doing? Gosh, he should have done that last week. Excuse me, on Tuesday. Gosh. Here's Terrell. After he goes haunted house here, he gets past the 40. He's just short of the 45. Get some extra sauce here on the end of this one. Second down.
I am curious. We had a helmet to come off there, so that player will have to come off the field for Limestone. But I am curious at what point, with the way they're establishing the run game and these linebackers are coming up for Limestone, at what point does this offense go deep on a pass play? I think that might happen relatively soon with the success they've had here in this first quarter, running the football with Terrell.
All about setting up that run game for Barton. Give Terrell looking for space. Terrell getting back to the line of scrimmage that time. Third down coming up. The player who just had to leave and now he should come back on was Colin Vaughn, who made that early defensive play for Limestone back on Barton's first drive. He's back in now.
It's going to be incumbent on these linebackers, too. They've got to get downhill and get to the backfield with speed in order to suffocate this run game of Barton. And they've been tested here so far in this game with the way Terrell has pounded it. Really good to see for Barton's offense how they've established the run in this first quarter.
I said Vaughn was back in. He's not back in yet. He's the 5th best tackler for Limestone. 3rd and 4 from the 44. Here goes Lynch going deep. Oh, incomplete. That close was Cameron Johnson. He would have pulled that. If he had pulled it in, he would have been down at the 15. That would have set up Barton almost in goal-to-goal territory, but it's incomplete. 4th down, that close.
Well, Barton had been throwing some light punches, but you knew at some point with the way they were having success with the run game that they were going to look for that big uppercut. That time they went down the sideline, and I thought he had that rascal. Just wasn't able to bring it in.
He makes those impressive catches so much that you almost expect Cameron Johnson to pull that in. He was that close. Here's Huggins to punt it just inside the 20. Fair catch signaled for and granted to the Limestone returner, Drew Dixon, who takes the fair catch. So just over a minute to go in this first quarter, Armand, and here's Limestone already up 14-7. And again, back to Mike Furry and that journey he's been on, but most importantly, what he said about that crazy finish last week. I mean, that thing was wild. 1 second left on the clock. Limestone able to win it over Newberry, 28-24. And and he even said it. I mean, he's a football coach. I mean, you can hear it, raspy voice and all, talking to Dennis Fowler earlier this week. Fowler down at WZZQ in Gaffney, South Carolina. Used to be there for a couple years myself. And Dennis hosts that weekly coaches show with Furry, and he was loving it. Here's Trey Stewart. Got a block. Stewart slips inside the 35, marking him at around the 37 on almost doubles up the yardage that time as he gets 18 total yards on that carry and a fresh set of downs for Limestone. But Furry was like, I know it was a crazy win last Saturday, but we got to shake it off and focus on Barton. Here's Stewart. Look at him break a tackle. Stewart inside the 45 and marked it around the 47 on a shake and bake.
Breaking a tackle and trying to break ankles. I love the pace and the tempo this Limestone offense is moving with here.
He gets some positive yardage there. Set up second and short. Here's Stewart. Doesn't get anything there. Third down on the way. Barton to the rescue quickly to stop the explosive Stewart. Xavier Johnson in there. No gain, 3rd and 1.
See if they get this play off before the quarter expires with 4 seconds. And no, they won't.
Nope. That's the end of the first quarter. 14-7 Limestone. Saints are going to be looking the opposite way, but they will have the football in good position when we come back on Flow Sports after 1 on this Saturday night in Wilson.
And supporting our students, faculty, and staff and programs here at Barton College Gym. And again, a proud alumnus of Barton. And they have consistently supported many areas across campus, including the annual fun student program, the Bulldog Club, and establishing the Jim and Vicky Boykin Endowed Scholarship benefiting members of the men's track and field team. Thank you so much to Jim and Vicky Boykin. This second quarter coming up, brought to you by ST Wooten Corporation. They are an official football sponsors of your Barton Bulldogs.
Welcome back. This second quarter brought to you by ST Wooten Corporation, an official football sponsor of the Barton Bulldogs. Thanks to ST Wooten for being with us all season long. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, and team back here with you on Flow Sports tonight. It's the second quarter, and Limestone now works from right to left as they're looking to get into Barton territory, and they will do just that on a running play to start quarter number 2 as Preston Lowndes, the 5'11 redshirt freshman running back from Greenville, South Carolina, takes it over midfield. 1st and 10 from the Barton 49 coming up for Limestone.
Limestone just moving so quickly here, trying to keep this Barton defense off balance.
Noller slings it, finds a target. That's a first down inside the 35-yard line on the pickup by Mikey Jones, who keeps this big Saturday night going.
That's a great pass, too, by the quarterback, Nola. He's got to hold the linebacker, Perry, there. He does it and makes the hookup with the receiver. Oops, hold it.
Yeah, gain of 15, but now we've got some movement early here with 1st and 10 from the 34 coming, but it looks to be 1st and 15 on the way on the second false start call of the night against Limestone.
False start is the call against the Saints. Going to cost them 5. Down will remain the same.
3 penalties here for Limestone in the game.
Yeah.
This seems to be the main thing slowing them down to this point with the way they've been moving.
Yeah, the penalties, as you know, again, that's what Chip Hester was talking about this week. He was like, look, we got to eliminate the pre-snap, the post-snap penalties. I mean, Mike Furry was super happy with his team, but he kept saying, look, you know, we got to take it 1 week here. We can't get ahead of ourselves, all that kind of stuff. Dustin Noller is pressured. Noller under duress. Noller gets it away, battling near side out at around the 35-yard line. goes the tight end Herman McCray IV. He got in for the first touchdown of the night for Limestone. He gets it there to get almost all of the penalty yardage back, 2nd and 11.
And those guys are hitting. Somebody lost either a chin strap or a mouth guard on that play. And flying through the air.
Yeah, the lights. I mean, I know it's a night game here in November. It's kind of crazy, but the lights, you can see everything just bouncing off. Here's Trey Stewart. Speaking of that, Stewart will get it to 3rd down yardage and gets it for a couple yards there. So here's your next 3rd down for Barton defensively as Stewart gets 4 yards, 3rd and 7. Noller drops. Noller over the middle, finds Jelani Baker, the number 1 wideout this season for Limestone, who has a first down. He steps out around the 20, and the Saints are in the red zone.
They bring a man out of the backfield, and then they've got the crosser Baker there to make the catch, unaccounted for by the Barton defense. First down, Limestone.
Limestone hustling up, one of the many weapons that Mike Furry talks about for his Limestone Saints. Baker's definitely one of those. Running play goes here to Kevin Leyland. Leyland is just short of the 5 on a hustle as he gets down and sets up a 1st and goal coming up here for Limestone.
So if you run off that right side, you've got Luke Bond, the right guard, who's 6'4", 315. You've got J.J. Martin, who's 6'4", 335 at right tackle. My gracious.
This is another running play on 1st and goal from the 7. Limestone signaling touchdown. No official signal yet. Waiting on it. This is Kevin Leyland, the redshirt freshman who almost got there. He's just short, though. 2nd and goal from the 1. This is the guy, Leyland, who came in to spell Stewart last week, Armand, because Trey Stewart's been a little banged up. So Leyland is like the change of pace guy. And this play gets nothing as Limestone trying to run it in from the 1-yard line. And this time nothing develops on the try by the Saints. And that looked like McCray that time taking it. So here it is, 3rd and goal.
And they just keep pounding it off that right side. With the size I just mentioned, no wonder why they're trying that right side. But now on a 3rd down, such a huge play, those receivers start to get involved. Let's see if Barton can get some pressure with their down lineman here.
Running back is Preston Lowndes. 3rd and goal from the 1, but it's a pass play, a little screen play to Drew Dixon, who's in for 6 points. And Limestone goes up over Barton 20-7 as the Saints do it again with that little screen play with goal to go, and they strike again.
Pace and balance offensively for Limestone, keeping this Barton defense guessing. Just a simple play call, right? But sometimes it's the simplest looking play call that is the most effective, and that time Limestone just making Barton swallow another difficult pill.
Daniel Deneen Jr. has the rest of the prescription there. 21-7 Limestone over Barton. We'll stay here on Flow Sports, and that touchdown, 11:06 to go here in the 2nd quarter. So no good. That extra point misses by Deneen, so it'll stay 20-7. So here we go. We got another phantom point for you and I, Armand. That seems to be a trend here lately. The phantom point. We had a high school game last week with a phantom point.
We did. I've seen quite a bit of you this fall, Corey.
I
It's
know.
been all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice sweater, too, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, this is my Banana Republic purchase from last year. You know, that was my. I spent all that, and I said, all right, that's my clothing purchase for the year. How they get away with selling stuff like that? Come on.
One purchase a year, huh?
One purchase a year.
You're my kind of guy. You are my kind of guy.
I don't know what I'm going to get this year, but I'll go into Banana Republic again.
You don't have it yet?
Yeah, don't have it yet. But I'm going to get one thing from Banana Republic, and that's my purchase of the year. And I'll wear the heck out of
Well,
it.
at least you remember where you got it from.
I do. Yeah.
I hate asking people about where they get some. Oh, it was a gift. Or, oh, I don't remember. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
No, you're not telling the truth.
Come on. So it's 20-7 after that missed extra point. And here is Deneen Jr., as Brandon Gaudin would say on Madden, looking to put a little extra into this after missing the extra point. That went down inside the 5-yard line. Looks like Bama that time deciding not to bring that out. And so here's Barton trailing by 13. And looking to try to match what Limestone's doing. I mean, Armand there, Barton was up last week on the road at Catawba, 21-10 at one point, wound up losing that game. It's been a tough stretch here last couple. Obviously, Newberry was tough and other things like that, but especially so with the Wingate game. Remember how Armand, Barton was up, had a chance in the second half, but they got down so much so early that it really confounded them in the second half. But it's just another tough battle in the South Atlantic Conference as Jordan Terrell will take it from the 25 as it was ruled a touchback that time. So that's where Barton starts, gets 5 yards out of that. But what I'm trying to say is that Barton knows what the teeth of this conference is like, and unfortunately they have to end their regular season last couple weeks going against the best.
And Barton's been looking for a complete game. Had a terrible first half against Wingate. We were here for that. Then had a rough second half against Catawba last week. So you've got one half here, one half there. You bring them both together, you get a complete game, and you come out of here with a win against a good Limestone team.
It all starts with the running game, and Terrell does it. He gets past the 35. That's enough for a first down. He needed 5 yards to pick up a fresh set of downs for Barton. He does that. And, of course, now we're getting to that point where we're already past it. We should be for Terrell here. So he's over 5,000 now for his career, so that's out of the way. So now he's just looking kind of for like what he did late last year when he had that 5-touchdown game late in the season. But the offense is so much more dynamic for Barton this year. It hasn't had to be like it's been the last 2 years where it's Terrell or nothing. There are more weapons out there, and like you said, Armand, earlier, run sets up the pass. Here's Terrell, who goes nowhere. Tackle for loss. He winds up losing about 3 yards that time as Chandler Matthews met him, along with Jeremy Hudson, who's one of the best defensively for Limestone. That duo sent Terrell packing for 2 yards.
Yeah, but I did want to just follow up on your point about Terrell. He's already past 80 yards here in this first half, so that 5,000 mark has been achieved. He's looking for 100 yards in the first half here if he keeps this up, and he's well on his way despite that loss of 2 yards on first down.
Yeah, so check that box for Terrell. Of course, he's focused now on how do I get my team back in this game, trailing 20-7. Lynch fakes it, rolls out, caught just past the 35-yard line, instantly tackled by that duo of Cade, one of our players to watch, and also Luke Janik, who came in to hit him. That was Isaiah Jacobs, the favorite target of last Saturday for Barton at Catawba, but Jacobs tackled almost instantly by that Limestone duo. Only picked up 2 yards. It's 3rd and 10.
This Limestone offense gets a lot of talk, but they're just giving up about 16.5 points a game in their last 3. This defense has been stepping up big throughout the course of this season as well.
Yeah, Furry loves what the defense is doing. I mean, he's just amazed by them. 3rd and 10. Lynch has some time. Now Lynch scrambling. Jaquan still going. He's just aching for that pylon. See where they mark him. The first down stick went down. It's usually a good indicator that it was close to, if not just over. They'll mark him short that time. That's one of the times where he hit it, but he hit it on his way out about 3-4 yards short. So it is 4th down, and Barton will obviously punt.
Really good defense, though, by Limestone. That's a coverage play, if anything else. They had 8 guys in coverage. There was nobody open. Barton's receivers were blanketed downfield, and Lynch did all he could to get 3 yards short of the first.
Huggins punts it away cleanly. Fair catch signaled for at around the 12, 13-yard line there. So Limestone ready to get back going as Dixon calls for the fair catch and gets it. We're back after this on Flow Sports in a 20-7 game. 7:46 to go in the second quarter. As we're back, Limestone up 20-7, and now the Saints have it 1st and 10 from the 12. So back to work for Limestone, and the defense holding up outside of that Gage Taylor catch for the touchdown in the first. Limestone, the defense has made the trip from Gaffney here to Wilson. Stewart gets it. Trey Stewart rumbling past the 25, marked down at the 26. That's a first down and a gain of 14 for the electric running back for Limestone.
A strong start for Stewart with this physical and fierce offensive line.
Here is a pass play, incomplete. Noller looking to lean it out towards, again, favorite target of the night, Mikey Jones, but that time he couldn't make it happen. Second down.
Just overshot him as Nola was trying to get that between two defenders, and it falls incomplete, but really a great start for Nola here in this game. He's 10 of 12, 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. You can't ask for much more than that in the first half.
Wow. I mean, he's got a game of the week type of performance of the week.
A man downfield penalty on Limestone, which was declined. So it'll be second down from the 26. But yeah, maybe that'll slow this Limestone team down. The only thing that has slowed their offense down to this point has been those penalties.
Second and 10. Noller. Soft spot in the coverage and still up and into Barton territory on that catch and run by Drew Dixon, who had the touchdown last time down for Limestone. Dixon takes it inside the 50 of Barton and past midfield. They'll mark it at the Barton 47. Quickly, here's Stewart. Stewart hustled down inside the 45 and around the 43-yard line. Second down coming up as Limestone wastes no time at all getting to that next snap.
They pull the left guard, Luke Ford, from left to right, and he just starts punishing and pummeling people there to create space for the back.
Called a gain of 4 last time by Stewart. Here's Noller. Far side. Pulled up on the leap by Dixon, and they will call it a completed catch for Dixon at the 31-yard line. So there's your next pickup and a new first down here for Limestone. Dixon now starting to take over the role.
Barton trying so hard to keep everything in front, playing a lot of zone coverage, but Noller is carving them up with accurate passes, and the receivers are exactly where they need to be, settling within the zone defense to make big connections and first downs.
It was a 12-yard completion. Dixon from Noller. Noller again, soft spot in the coverage. And this is just short of the 10-yard line, and the pickup by Jelani Baker. So there's your number 1 receiver this season for Limestone. Wide receiver 1.
So you like Halloween, right?
Yeah.
So what Limestone is doing, they're not giving you king-size Snicker bars, but they're just these small bite-sized Snickers. They're just eating them and tearing them up, and they're pushing their way towards the end zone again.
This is a delightful and tasty performance here so far in this first half. Again, going quick here to Herman McCray, the 4th. He's around or close to the 5. They'll mark him at the 7, so second and 5.
I thought you were going to say delightful and delectable. It would have been my kind of thing. You know I love my alliteration, Corey.
Oh, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
My brain had enough smoke coming out of it a second ago. I was like, if I do that, I think these late games in early November are tough on the mind. I mean, I'm sitting around all day. Noller flips it. Touchdown. Limestone had the blocking down there from 7 yards out. That's Dixon, his second touchdown of the night for Limestone. They go up by 19, a 26-7 early hot start for the Saints from Gaffney.
And he just sort of rolls and more or less flings the ball. I tell you, what a start for this Limestone offense. And Barton's defense, they've got more questions than answers right now with the way Limestone is moving the ball. Receiving game is active. Nolar's carving up zone coverage. And Limestone is going to go for 2 here to try to make this 28-7 and to get that point back they missed on the extra point.
That's it. Yeah, it's flashback for us. Like last Friday, the team who missed the extra point wants to get it back, so they'll go for 2. At least they will after the timeout. For Dixon, he's got 2 receiving scores to go along with 48 yards on 4 catches. And then there's McCray, the tight end, who had the other one. And then you count the Stewart rushing touchdown to account for the 4 scores so far here for Limestone. 26-7 should be a 2-point conversion. With 4:47 to go in the second. I've completely missed the break. Yeah. We had some extra housekeeping there I was taking care of, and again I went full Martha Stewart, and I shouldn't.
You get a sweater and just you don't know how to act, man.
That's what it is. Yeah, give me a cashmere sweater. I turn into Martha Stewart. Just clean the house.
But it's true though. I mean, with Limestone's offense, I mean it's like pick your poison.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I know we're getting close to Thanksgiving. Food allergies are just out now. They've got a buffet now. Because we were so focused in on the Nolar-Baker connection.
Right.
But it's been Dixon. It's been Jones. It's obviously been Stewart. And it's been like pick one. Like pick your guy, pick your play, and Limestone has been able to have success in this first half.
I mean, you said it, Armand, as you usually do. I mean, here's Dixon now. He's up to 5 touchdowns this season, came in with 3. And then you go to Herman McCray, the 4th. He got his first receiving score of the season earlier. So, yeah, it hasn't been the Baker show like we thought it would be, but that's smart for Limestone. Barton's keying in on Jelani Baker, so go ahead and spread it around and give some love to some of the other Limestone Saints, as Limestone is set up again here following the timeout for the 2-point try.
Wonder what the ref and the officials are talking about here near the 8-yard line. A bit of a delay here. I don't see a flag or anything like that. The ball is spotted.
Yeah, good question.
Now they're talking to Furry and the staff over there. Is there a flag? I never saw a flag.
I don't know. I think we're set now.
I guess we're good.
Yeah.
All righty.
Okay. So the timeout plus a little extra discussion there between the officials. Here's your 2-point try. Nolar looking. Oh, he's got a receiver wide open in the back of the end zone. Incomplete. The 2-point try fails for Limestone, as Nolar was looking for Christian Means, one of the other Saints tight ends. It'll stay 26-7. 4:47 to go in the second on Flo Sports.
Fans, we certainly like to thank everyone who participated in the canned food drive supporting our Barton College Food Pantry. Thank you so much for your donation.
Just under 5 minutes to go before the halftime break. 26-7 Limestone. That 2-point try failed. Otherwise, it's been pretty much all success so far tonight for Limestone, as the Saints lead Barton still by 19. So what do the Bulldogs do here with time running short in this first half? Try to at least go to the locker room with something positive. It could start here on the return. It starts just inside the 15-yard line and gets marked out at around the 30-yard line on the return by Taekwon Bama, as they call him around here, Patterson. So here's Barton. They'll mark it at the 28. Not a terrible return. 3 yards better than you get on your touchback. But here we are, Armand. I mean, right now, if you're Barton, you know what you got to do.
Yeah, you want to stay committed to the run game, but being down 19, and we saw this against Wingate, man, it's eerily similar in terms of how Barton has found itself down in the first half. I would think they'd try to go back to Terrell here and at least keep the run game going for a bit.
1st and 10 from the 28. Here we go. Something developing near side here for Cameron Johnson. Johnson takes this into Limestone territory on a big play to start this next drive. They'll mark it just a yard inside of Limestone territory at the 49. So that's a way to get it going.
I love those end around, those sweeps, man. Man, you get the defense going one direction, you come back the other way, and they get a really nice gain on that first down.
And they'll mark it just short. In fact, they'll mark it at the 49 of their own territory. Here goes Jordan Terrell. Terrell stays up. Look at him go. Jordan Terrell to the 10, and he almost broke it. I mean, the way that Jordan Terrell can stay up and absorb contact, he takes that one for a gain of 41.
And he carried poor Jeremiah Lomax, number 16, about 10 yards down the field. My, what an effort by Terrell. Lomax was about to eat some of that grass there had that continued. What a play.
Well, Terrell, if anyone's going to get you right back into a game, I mean, I know we say this all the time for those that watch us here on Flow Sports, but Terrell's a guy that can do it. Here it is. This time, though, it'll be Jaquan Lynch. He missed last Saturday, but Lynch says, I'll take the week off. I'm coming right back. Jaquan Lynch, 10-yard quarterback keep for 6 points. Bulldogs with Lynch taking them in for the score.
Jaquan says, I am back. And that took all of a minute there. What a great response by Barton, showing their explosiveness offensively with a quick touchdown drive.
And the starting QB from last Saturday is Tyler Flippin. He will hold here as Bear Huggins wants to make this 26-14. And he does. So that's exactly what Barton needed to get this back to a 12-point game. 3:25 to go in the second. Now it's time to see the Barton defense on the flip side, Armand. I mean, yeah, I know they say it. It's what the doctor ordered, all that kind of stuff. It's true. That's exactly what Barton needed. And, again, if anyone's going to get you down there quick, it's Jordan Terrell.
But I love the play calling on that Giant. They start with the end around, getting Johnson, not just in the passing game, but getting him in the run game involved there.
Yeah.
And the offense just opens up. But I want to go back to the effort by Terrell there because, man, that's one of those plays when he drags Lomax. You watch that in film if you're the offense. If you're the running back, you say, man, I really did something. And if you're the defender, you kind of drop your head, and all the guys around you look at you like, man, you got embarrassed, dude. But that's the kind of talent this Jordan Terrell has. Let me see here. Has he reached? He's got to be over that 100-yard mark now.
He is.
Oh, yeah. 127 rushing yards for him now.
So, that's Terrell. I mean, he's, obviously looking to get over 1,000. Again, this one rolls and gets into the end zone for a touchback off the kickoff by Huggins as it trickles past Jelani Baker. And so Limestone will bring it out, and we'll have it at the 25. But, yeah, I mean, that's how quick it can happen for Terrell. He can get to his number, and everyone knows that. Everyone knows where he ranks nationally in rushing yards per game. He's right there at the top. I mean, the sack, obviously, he's a leader. And he's also the spark plug that can get Barton back going. He's the impetus for them to get right back into this game.
Chip Hester has been so committed to the identity of this team. Every week, when you listen to him talk in interviews, it's about the run game. It's about establishing it. It's about getting Jordan Terrell going. It's about understanding and acknowledging, respecting the fact that he is the bell cow. He's got to carry the tone. He's got to carry the torch for the offense. And Chip Hester and the crew have been faithful to that this entire season. This is a delay of game penalty on Limestone. They broke huddle with about 3 seconds left on the play clock. And they're going to get moved back to the 20-yard line, 1st and 15 to start.
That's another, issue here producing negative yardage for Limestone. To my count, the third time tonight that Limestone's been in a first and long situation, or at least a long down and distance, not due to something defensively from Barton, something self-inflicted. Trey Stewart glides his way to the 25-yard line to get the penalty yardage back. They'll give him a yard extra, so 6-yard gain to set up 2nd and 9 for Stewart. 3:07 to go before half.
When you play this late in the season, you have a pretty strong sense of the identity of your team. And we're seeing that also on display in this game. Both these teams know who they are.
Yeah, and there's a point to that Mike Furry talked about earlier in the week. Give goes to Stewart, who doesn't get much, if anything. I think they're going to credit him with a yard here. Yes, so 3rd and 8, but 2:38 to go. Barton has time if they can force a stop here to get it back and maybe strike again. Limestone's backed up, and this is somewhat of a critical 3rd down, not even before halftime. Trailing by 12, every 3rd down could be a difference maker. Here's Noller and the Limestone offense needing 8 yards to keep this late first half drive alive. Stewart is the back, but Noller will send it. That's a first down pickup just short of the 40-yard line on the grab by Dixon, who, like Jones, has been very active tonight. Drew Dixon.
Play call just perfect, man, I tell you. Such poise from Noller in the pocket, too, man. Such a key aspect to this offensive success.
Gain of 11. Here's Stewart. He's going to get a whole lot more. Look at Stewart lower the helmet there and just slam ahead into the awaiting defender. An easy first down pickup. Kermit Solomon was in the way of Stewart, and Stewart just blew him back.
You ain't lying.
Woo.
Like a truck. Bam! And drove him to the ground with a first down for Limestone.
Yeah, that's a 9-yard pickup. By the way, Stewart was running. You thought maybe he would just get past Solomon and maybe go all the way. I mean, that's the kind of runs we see out of Terrell sometimes. 88 seconds to go before half. Fresh set from the 47 for Limestone, trying to at least get in field goal position. Here's Noller. Got some pressure. Dustin Noller gets out on the run and steps out after picking up about 3 yards.
You make a point there talking about the pressure. Barton hasn't had much of it on Noller here in this game tonight.
Yeah.
Limestone's pace, their tempo has been so quick, so rapid, and Barton has not had many opportunities at all to get to Noller in this game. He's been releasing the ball quickly, and Barton's been playing a lot of coverage, and when they've played coverage, Noller's been carving them up with accurate passes to receivers who know exactly where to be in the middle of the defense.
2nd and 7, and that's something that Chip Hester of Barton talked about earlier this week too. He said, look, we got after the quarterback last Saturday at Catawba. He wanted to see that be kept up. Finally, a little bit of hurry that last time. Here's Noller. More pressure from Barton. Dustin Noller flings it incomplete over the head and the outstretched hands of Dixon. 3rd down.
Good physicality by Barton on the outside on those receivers there. Just making them feel you a bit, you know. If you can just jam them, throw them off a little bit once the route is run, you break up timing, you break up rhythm, and then the quarterback has nowhere to throw the football. A big 3rd down here for Barton, because if they can get the ball back here and maybe eke out another score, they get the ball to start the second half, and then the momentum of this game starts to turn.
That's right. Now you got the home team set up. Most of the time, if not all the time these days, home team is getting that second half kickoff. Same situation tonight. Here's Noller on 3rd and 7. Incomplete. Noller looking near side. That would have been just enough to pick up a first down, but he went incomplete on the try to Baker. His top target this season is 4th down.
I believe that was Ja'Cory Bible on the outside there with the coverage. First time we've said his name today. And Ja'Cory with a leap and a jump of celebration there, the 6'3 sophomore making a big play on the outside. And this Barton defense gets to get off the field. And let's see how aggressive Barton's offense is going to be here. If they could squeak out another score here right before the halftime break, boy, would it bring a smile to the face of these fans here at the stadium tonight.
Yeah, fans are looking to get back into this game. Another score right before the break would do it. Here's your punt. Fair catch called for at the 10 by Cameron Johnson. So, and so far it should be mentioned as well as we have a flag, Armand, is that you're looking already now at Baker tonight. Just 3 catches for 40 yards. So far, Baker for Limestone has been somewhat neutralized in the first half. I mean, granted, Dixon's done plenty, so is Jones, but still, so far that number 1 threat has been muzzled a bit. But, of course, forget about all that. We got to figure out these penalties.
There are 2 flags down. I don't know if they are connected to the same play, so we'll let the ref sort it out.
It's on Barton. I'm going to back this up.
That makes it a little bit more difficult with 57 seconds left and 3 timeouts to try to get another score in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. They're going to mark this, Armand, at the 4. So, gosh, now you better be careful down here with Limestone's defense that you just don't throw this game away here.
You're right.
I tell you, if there weren't 57 seconds left on the clock, I know what Chip Hester and company would be doing. They'd be already kneeing this. Here's Terrell. Terrell, and keep it on the ground is a safe play. Doesn't get to the 10. He's just inside of it. 45 seconds to go for Terrell on a small gain. Nothing else. You get out of immense trouble and get into more manageable trouble. 5-yard gain.
Barton is not going to call timeout here, at least not yet. So we may have our strategy already decided by Hester and the group.
One more run play here for Terrell, the kind of guy that you can't take a break from, even on somewhat of just a conventional run there, just to keep it safe. 10 seconds to go. Terrell picks up 3 more, 3rd and short, but now you don't have to run anything. You can just go to halftime. So crisis averted there for Barton, being backed up to the 4. They wind up eking out 8 yards from that. They keep it safe, and as Armand Brody just mentioned moments ago, Barton will get the second half kickoff. So 26-14, Limestone leading by 12, but that touchdown latter stages of this second quarter, bringing Barton back to within striking distance. And remember, they get possession to start the second half. After halftime, we'll take a pause, come back, get you caught up on some stats, some numbers, everything that matters, and then get ready for the second half here on senior night. Limestone leading Barton 26-14. We're coming back for the second half after this and more on Flow Sports.
Congressman Davis has spent his life answering the call to serve as a veteran, an educator, a minister, and a dedicated public servant. Congressman Davis graduated in 1994 from the United States Air Force Academy and became a commissioned officer in the U.S. Air Force, where he actively served in uniform for 8 years. Congressman Davis, thank you for your service to our state and our country. We also want to welcome North Carolina State Representative Ken Fontenot. Mr. Fontenot served in the United States Marine Corps from 2005 to 2014 as a supply admin and finance officer. He is currently serving his first term in the North Carolina House of Representatives. Representative Fontenot, thank you for your service to our state and our country. And finally, we are so very honored to recognize retired United States Air Force Brigadier General Norman C. Gaddis, a friend of the college and a military leader of laudable reputation. General Gaddis recently celebrated his 100th birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Beginning active military duty in 1942, he received his commission in pilot wings in 1944. In November of 1966, he was transferred to the Republic of Vietnam to serve as the Assistant Deputy Commander for Operations, and he flew 72 combat missions in South Vietnam and Laos. On May 12, 1967, when he was listed missing in action after one of his flights, General Gaddis became a prisoner of war held by the North Vietnamese from May 1967 until his release on March 4th of 1973. Following his release, he became Vice Commander of the 82nd Flying Training Wing, Air Training Command at Williams Air Force Base, and was later named Commander in 1974. He then went on to hold 2 Deputy Director appointments for the U.S. Air Force in D.C. With more than 4,300 flying hours As a command pilot, he retired in June of 1976 after serving more than 30 years of military service. General Gaddis is decorated with multiple military decorations and awards, including the Distinguished Service Medal and the Purple Heart. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure. Please join me in recognizing Brigadier General Norman C. Gaddis for his exemplary service to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Barton College Marching Bulldogs. The Marching Bulldogs are under the direction of Sean Wellman, Jalen Thomas, Stephen Combs, Erica Wellman, and Giovanni Fierro. The band is under the student leadership of Drum Major Kristen Adams, color guard co-captains Sharika Cox and Asia Reddick Baker, and instrumental captain Colton Wilson. This evening's halftime performance showcases the band's first full-length halftime show entitled Dance. The 2023 field show features musical arrangements by Brian Rhodes and Sean Wellman, visual design by Matthew Bissett, and color guard choreography by Jalen Thomas and Giovanni Fierro. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dance! Ladies and gentlemen, we've introduced your dance team seniors, your football seniors, and now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce and recognize our senior marching Bulldogs for their commitment and contributions to Barton College, Barton Athletics, and the formation of the marching Bulldogs. First off, Kristen Adams. Kristen is from South Chesterfield, Virginia, and attended Matioka High School. She is a biology major with a focus in pre-veterinary medicine and a minor in painting. After college, she plans to attend the School of Veterinary Medicine, where she will pursue a doctorate. Kristen would like to thank her family for always supporting her, as well as her friends, advisors, and mentors who have helped her along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Adams. Next up, Sharika Cox. Sharika is from Goldsboro, North Carolina. She attended Wayne Country Day School and has been a member of the Marching Bulldogs for 2 years. She is majoring in social work and gerontology with a minor in population health and psychology. Sharika plans to pursue a master's degree and enjoy a career as a clinical geriatric social worker. Sharika would like to thank Barton College for shaping her into the bold leader that she has become, as well as her family and friends for supporting her throughout her college career. More specifically, she would like to thank her mother, her aunt, and father for the love, encouragement, and always being there when she needed them most. Ladies and gentlemen, Sharika Cox. Next up, Hannah Hooks. Hannah is from Scotland Neck, North Carolina, and she attended the Hopgood Academy. She is majoring in social work with a minor in psychology. Plans to pursue a master's degree in the future. Hannah has been a member of the Marching Bulldogs for 2 years and would like to thank Nikki and Eliza Grace Hucks, Sarah David and Kurt Bunting, Paige Winslow, and all of her friends at Barton for their support throughout the years. Ladies and gentlemen, Hannah Hucks. Next up, Jordan Peartree. Jordan is from Terracea, North Carolina, and attended South Central High School. Jordan has been a member of the Blue Flames for 4 years, a member of the Marching Bulldogs for 2, and is obtaining a musical theater degree with a minor in psychology. After graduation, Jordan plans to continue with his theatrical degree and career. Jordan would like to thank his moms and Jalen for all of their support throughout the years. Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Peartree. And last but certainly not least, Asia Riddick-Baker. Asia is from the Bronx, New York, and attended Renaissance High School for Musical Theater and the Arts. She is a psychology major and has been part of the Blue Flames and the Pep Band for 4 years. Asia plans to attend graduate school with a concentration in clinical psychology and would like to thank Jalen Thomas and Andrea Reddick for being there to uplift and support her throughout all 4 years of her college degree. Ladies and gentlemen, Asia Riddick-Baker. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give all of our senior Bulldogs another big round of applause.
There's tremendous work happening at Barton. Our campus is student-centered, results-oriented, future-focused, and we believe in our students and that our students matter. Because they matter, the work that we do every day on campus, it matters as well. Our faculty and staff, they're connecting the dots with a sense of urgency, leading like never before.
I'm proud to be a Barton Bulldog because I get to meet people from around the world and get to experience new cultures.
The most important thing that happens on this campus is connection. Connection with faculty, connection with community, which is one of the reasons what has drawn me here.
You're not just a number on campus. It's the one-on-ones with the professors. It's the staff member that takes time to see a situation or circumstance through with the student. But it allows us to connect with our students and show our true passion for really not just helping you through your educational goals, but again, providing you everything that you need to be successful.
I know I matter on this campus because all of my teachers actually take a genuine interest in me, not only as a student or as a student athlete, but as a whole human being. When I walk into a classroom, it's not just, student 34876, it's Bianca, how are you doing? And that matters to me.
I'm a fundamentally different person than when I got here, and I still have the respect of so many people here and the support and everything that I need to be who I am in my development as a student.
The mission of Barton College is centered on student growth and student development. And because of that, we connect our faculty, our staff, to our philosophy of how we teach and learn, to the practice that takes place every day in our classroom. And through it all, it creates a powerful learning force that takes place all across this campus. It maximizes our students' opportunities to learn and to grow. Every door on campus opens up to a new opportunity for them. This is in the DNA of Barton College. It's in the DNA of our people.
Barton Bold means considering what's next, being open to new ideas, being able to move fast. We know the world's changing, it's constantly changing, so just trying to adapt as quickly as we can.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready for what's next.
We're back following halftime in a 26-14 game. Limestone leading Barton here on senior night in Wilson. Corey Hodges, Armand Brody, Grant Robertson, Kelly McHugh, John Cars, our entire team making it all possible for our final football home broadcast of 2023, Armand. And Barton is going to get the second half kickoff, and you do go back to that 10-yard run by Lynch, just under 3.5 to go before the break. That got Barton back to within a manageable position, somewhat of a striking distance, if you will. And there's Lynch, who only has 28 yards passing. But look at the rushing numbers, Armand. 16, 132 for Terrell, 16 carries, 132 yards. And there's Lynch with that quarterback scramble. Meanwhile, touchdowns aplenty for Limestone. Receiving scores for McCray, 2 for Dixon, and then a rushing score for Stewart. Dustin Knowler's been good as well, 16 to 20, 249, 3, and no picks.
Well, we talked about disrupting Dustin in our keys to the game. That has not happened. 16 of 20, 249 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Limestone offense.
So can Barton start to maybe begin another home comeback that came up just short last home game here at home against Wingate? So they had a chance at this as the return comes out to the 25-yard line from Taekwon Bama Patterson. So again, that was a comeback that came up short. You'll remember, and for those of you that don't, you go back to the Wingate game on October the 21st. That game wound up being a Wingate win, yes, 38-24. A bit misleading though, Armand, because at one point Barton had that down to a couple points. They had a furious second half comeback going. The striking distance is better this time, only down by 12. That was a game where Barton trailed by 20 plus at halftime. So they almost did it a home game ago. Can they do it tonight?
And home has been good to Barton this year. That Wingate loss was their first loss of the season at home.
That's right. Terrell gets it on the first carry of the second half, and Terrell, possible negative yardage after that play, as Terrell got stuck onto by the Limestone defender Malachi Ray, the 5'10 defensive back. Loss of 3.
Yeah, good job by Ray and that defense of flowing to the ball. You know that they're going to get it back to Terrell and try to get him reestablished here in this second half after an electric start to this game. Really good job by the Limestone defense that time.
Did want to mention this third quarter brought to you by Emerge Ortho, an official football sponsor of the Barton Bulldogs. 2nd and 13. Lynch hanging in. Lynch going far side and hooks up just short. First down yardage is Cameron Johnson, who comes through far and away the biggest receiver this year for Barton in terms of numbers, and almost bails Barton out. He gets 11 back, 3rd and 2.
Good job by Johnson there. That play is his play. There's no other place for that ball to go, for the play to go. That play was specifically designed for him. As those Limestone linebackers came up, Johnson had man coverage on the outside, ran a good route, came back to the ball, made the catch to set up a 3rd down and short.
Bit of a quiet week last week for Johnson on the road at Catawba, but on the season coming in, 44 catches, 758, 5 touchdowns. He averages about 85 yards a game. Lynch keeps. Lynch has a first down, and so that'll move them for Barton. Extra yardage saved that time by Jeremy Hudson, who tackled Lynch to keep him from getting any more, but he gets enough. 1st and 10 coming up here from the 39.
And I like what Lynch has done in this game here. He's been using his legs to try to make some plays on the outside, and it's been, for the most part, successful in this ball game tonight.
Yeah, when Lynch is at his best, he's mobile when he needs to be, and the run, of course, sets up the pass, and Lynch can be a really, really deadly runner. Here he goes, trying it again. Now, this time Limestone has an answer. Lynch winds up getting only about 2 yards. So here comes 2nd down. But, yeah, he wants to get mobile, and when he's fully healthy, as he appears to be tonight, he can be a big mobile quarterback presence.
He's averaging about 6 yards a carry in this game. So it's been a good night for him. You don't have to be Lamar Jackson, right? I mean, it's all about being selective in it, good decision-making, good timing as a quarterback, being able to read and react quickly. And Lynch has done a pretty good job of that with the run game tonight.
2nd and 8 from their own 41. Lynch turns around, gives it to Terrell. A gain of a couple. 3rd down coming up.
Barton needs to stay ahead of the chains in this game. You don't want to get in 3rd and long situations because, I mean, you start playing right into the hands of an aggressive Limestone defense. You've got to treat those first downs, and I'm sure this has been a message that Hester has preached to his offense. You want to treat those first downs like 2nd downs. Try to stay 1 down ahead, 1 play ahead there to keep the defense guessing a bit so that you don't end up in these 3rd and long situations.
That was Terrell's 18th carry of the ball game. 3rd and 7, just getting a yard. Lynch goes deep to Jaquez Durham. No flag. Not seeing a flag anywhere as Durham was covered by John Gregory, and it's 4th down.
So the pass was a bit underthrown, and that's what I'm thinking the officials have to be thinking here, not to put thoughts in their heads or words in their mouths. There was definite contact, and everybody here at Truist was waiting on a flag. There was contact, but I'm thinking that the officials are saying, well, the pass was underthrown, even though that's probably a call that you get in the NFL.
So Huggins punts on 4th down. Back here to Dixon, who gets taken down for a short return, as Dixon never really got to get the feet moving. Jay Wheeler in there. We do now have a flag down, though.
Penalty marker on the play.
So now the all-important, is it on the kicking team or the return team? Obviously, Barton wants this on Limestone. It's on Barton. It's 15 yards with that face mask. So here's Limestone. They're going to be set up in a prime position here before they even get the first snap off on the next drive. They'll have it, Armand, at the 41 of their own side of the field. But this is a picture-perfect field position.
The last thing you want to do is assist Limestone. We saw this in the first half, and they made Barton pay with good field position, and they've got it at the 41-yard line. And all this offense needs is just a little bit of space, and they make magic happen. So we'll see if Barton can hunker down here.
Trey Stewart is a running back. That's the quarterback, Dustin Noller, who's had a very productive Saturday night thus far. The man in motion was Baker, and Baker now gets it. Baker turns it inside the 45, out around the 46, 47-yard line there for a good pickup by Jelani Baker, second down.
And really one of the hallmarks of Limestone's offense is just these quick releases. Nola gets the ball out so fast as a defensive line, and certainly if you're blitzing, you don't have time to get to him because that ball is out immediately.
Baker, one of the many weapons for Limestone, and he's getting opportunities to make plays. And another guy who's made plays all year is Trey Stewart. Stewart may be gone. See if he can outrun those two defenders. He does, and takes it the distance. And he goes for 53 yards on that carry. Trey Stewart, who has been racking up 100-plus yard rushing days the last couple weeks, does it again. It's now 32-14. Trey Stewart puts Limestone further ahead.
Trey Stewart has become the first back in Limestone history to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And on that touchdown, he did it in dazzling fashion, turning on the speed down the sideline.
Here's your extra point try by Daniel Deneen Jr. It's good, 33-14. That's how Limestone answers after Barton's first touch of the second half. And the lead extends. 10:32 to go in the third on Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Barton College dance team. Ladies and gentlemen, your Barton College dance team. Ladies and gentlemen, this just into the press box. For the first time in school history, ladies and gentlemen, both the men's and women's Bulldog soccer teams have made it to the Conference Carolinas Championship. The ladies defeated Mount Olive 1-0, and the men defeated Young Harris in penalty kicks. They, ladies and gentlemen, again, both advanced to the Conference Carolinas Championships. Congratulations, Bulldogs!
33-14 game. Limestone over Barton as we're back. Trey Stewart with that 53-yard rushing touchdown before the break, the junior out of Winston-Salem. And you look at what he's done last couple of games. I mean, he had 14 carries, 217 yards. Ironically, no touchdowns, but he ran all over Lenore Ryan a couple weeks ago. Then 178 on 24 carries in the score against Catawba, coming off of that 23-105-2 game that we mentioned in our player to watch segment for Stewart. So here he goes again, and last check, Armand, he is over 130 yards and now 2 touchdowns on the night. This one bounces into the end zone for a touchback for Barton, down 33-14.
And if you are Barton, you saw some good things. We've seen some good things from Lynch, scrambling, running. Obviously, you got to pick the tempo up a bit. But I will say this Barton team has been true to who they are all season long, and it's been Terrell. And we saw even in the last game against Wingate Core, we saw Terrell be active in the passing game. And I wonder if that doesn't come into play here in the second half, not just using him to pound it between the tackles or running left tackle, right tackle side. But let's see if they can get him going out of the backfield in the passing game for the rest of this game.
Next Barton drive after the touchback starts at the 25-yard line. And speaking of that time there is Terrell with a catch. He doesn't get much. Looks like he's going to get marked back to line of scrimmage. So, yeah, right to your point, Armand. There's Lynch looking for Terrell out of the backfield.
We're reading our minds there. And Chandler Matthews, the senior linebacker, was right there in the middle to bring a halt to that screen, that middle screen to the running back Terrell.
I tell you, it's a great point as well. Talking about Terrell that we'll touch on here in a second. I mean, his receiving numbers this year, he's really turned it up. I mean, every other year before that, not even close. Now he gets it conventionally here on the ground and gets to about the 27, 28-yard line. Third down coming up. You've got a Limestone Saint who is still down. And we have a look at him now. That is Malachi Ray, who's being looked at by a member of the training staff. We're back in 15 seconds on Flow Sports. We're back. Malachi Ray being assisted off there. Obviously, Armand, good to see him. He's walking under his own power with a couple trainers alongside.
Yep, a bit of a limp, but always good to see him able to walk off the field. And hopefully he's back in this game if you're a Limestone fan. Of course, you want to see that.
An important part of the defense for Limestone. 3rd and 8 coming up here for Barton. To tack this on, I mean, real quick, you mentioned the receiving numbers for Terrell. His first 3 years here in Wilson, 73, 24, 32. Those were his total season receiving yards. This year, 152 of them coming in. Here's Lynch, slings it. Lynch finds Cameron Johnson for a first down, and that'll keep the drive going here for Barton. A much-needed hookup, Lynch to Johnson.
What a great pass, too, from Lynch. Great accuracy, had great zip on that line drive pass. And Barton gets a good first down to keep this drive rolling up to the 47-yard line.
And they're going to be a couple yards shy midfield and in desperate need of a couple touchdowns, but one right now for sure, trying to stitch a drive together here, trying to get that last score back. 1st and 10 from the 47, and Limestone indicating some early movement by Barton.
Yep. Moving back 5 yards to the 42-yard line on this senior night.
Senior night, great crowd, and again, unseasonably warm. I mean, it's 55 degrees right now, but it was in the 70s most of the day, and it's going to be 80 here next Wednesday, and then it finally drops off. So it's getting ready to feel like November, but it doesn't feel like it here. Quick out, Lynch looking and finding Gabe Heinzman. So there he is. Heinzman's first catch of the night. Gets it just a yard inside of Limestone territory, 2nd down.
That does bring up a question, though. At what point is it like jacket weather? And what is there a temperature? Is there a degree mark that makes it like widely acceptable across the board to say I'm going to wear either a sweater or a jacket?
I mean, I've always thought anything under 60, as Terrell turns it up and comes up just short of a 3rd down. I've always thought anywhere under 60.
But daytime 60 or nighttime 60?
Well, that's the thing. If it's a daytime 60, it won't feel 60. Daytime under...
You're really struggling with
I am. Daytime under 55, nighttime under 60. And I should know. I was born in Virginia. I've been here for 30 years. I should know by now. Well, the weather here is insane. You know this.
Yes, it is.
Everybody in this booth.
Mercurial, yes.
I know. Always. That's what Grant said. Is there a bad time for a sweater around the neck? Always. Any temperature. It's a total no-no. That's right. Got a flag here on 3rd and
Just
2.
took a timeout first, and I believe Barton called it. Yep, they did.
Okay, so no flag, just the timeout. All right, so we'll take it 2 on Flow Sports. Back after this.
Next game is the regular season finale. It's on the road next Saturday, November the 11th. We'll be heading to take on the Erskine Flying Fleet. Again, kickoff 1 p.m. Again, regular season finale for your Barton Bulldogs.
Third and short is on the way. Just had a timeout called by Barton. They'll get this marked up. I can see Landon Mariani down there, offensive coordinator for Barton, drawing something up here, Armand. 3rd and 2, you got to pick it up.
Sure do. And once again, I'm looking for Terrell out of the backfield here. He's always a threat.
Oh, snap is high over Lynch. Lynch gets it. Lynch may actually turn this into something. No, Lynch gets speared short of first down yardage. That could have been a total disaster. As it is, it's maybe a mini one, as Dadrian Lyman was the one who saved possible first down pickup by Lynch. He tackled Lynch rather.
And great job by Lyman there, playing great leverage. I thought, like you, that for a moment Lynch was going to make a miracle happen there after that bad snap. But good call here. I like the decision to go for it on 4th down and 3 down 19.
Loss of a yard, so Lynch dropping. There's Terrell out of the backfield. Terrell got it. He broke a tackle. Terrell still going. Terrell stays up inside the 10. They're trying to turn Jordan Terrell into receiving back here in Wilson. He just broke it. He almost went the distance. And Barton's on the move, courtesy of JT.
You always know that Jordan Terrell is a threat. And if it's not him getting the ball on a handoff, he can leak out of the backfield. They brought a blitz that time, did Limestone. But just go to your safety valve. Jordan Terrell, the best guy you've got. And after he makes the catch, anything is possible. Big first down for Barton.
Mention those numbers. Talking about Terrell and how he's been so efficient this season when he's had chances out of the backfield. That time, a 37-yard catch and run, setting up Barton here. 1st and goal from the 9. Give goes to Terrell. Terrell, nothing. 2 coming in on the stop. Hudson and Chandler. Matthews, 2nd down after the loss of 1. 2nd and goal.
Chip Hester said we need to win the turnover battle and win the rushing battle in this game. And a guy like Jordan Terrell, winning the rushing battle is always a possibility. But you certainly want to punch this one in here. Man, I tell you, you get a score and you get a stop, man. There's still so much time left in this game to get some positive vibes going.
2nd and goal from the 10. Here's Terrell looking for space. Got a block. Terrell scurries ahead. He's a yard short. 3rd and goal coming up. And something else that Chip Hester also said this week, Armand, he said the motto for the week, look in the mirror. This is a look in the mirror moment. You got to punch this in. Barton going quick, trying to push ahead Lynch. And Lynch got it. Wilson, North Carolina teamwork, their own version of the brotherly shove that time, getting Lynch ahead. And that's a touchdown, and Barton draws within 13 points.
Can we call it the
what are you coming up with?
The Barton Barrage.
Yes.
How about that?
Much better.
You like that one?
I like.
No, you don't.
Well, I'm thinking if it's brotherly shove, you could say like Barton Brothers. I don't know. I know. Well, I'm going off of your alliteration.
You try.
I'm trying.
I thank you, though.
I know. Yeah, let the think tank work. We may come up with something. Here's hug and see extra point. No matter what you want to call it, all of that makes it a 12-point game. Again, we're right back where we started from. 5:15 to go in the third. You can sing the song during the break on Flow Sports. we're back. 5:15 to go in the third. Lynch with his second rushing score of the night. And Barton back within 12, 33-21. Corey Hodges, Harmon Brody, and team back here with you on Flow Sports. Huggins ready to kick off. You can see Barton chipping away, trying to get back into this game. What they really need on this next drive is a stop of Limestone. The return will start from just inside the 5-yard line to the 25 and a flag. Got to address this now. Jelani Baker, the return man. And once again, Armand, is it on the kicking team or the receiving team?
We are about to find out. I do have a name, though. I thought about this over the break. I'm going to give it to you in just a second here. I know you're waiting with bated breath.
Yes.
Holding on the receiving team. So here we go. We got one of two options. And what do you think? The Barton Bulldozer or Bulldoze?
Okay.
Or the Bulldog Bulldozer?
I like both. Either or for me. It's better than what I was trying to come up with.
Because you've got the bull in there if you do the ladder.
That's right.
Bull twice. Double bull.
Man, you know what? Sign Armand up. We want all 5 next year. I want extra think tank. Here's a running play for Limestone. Now they're backed up here to the 15 after that 10-yard penalty. Keeping it on the ground here with Trey Stewart. Speaking of, of bulldozers, this is a time really to try to move some earth here if you're the Barton defense. And that right there, Armand, was a gain of just 2. 2nd and 8. You got to dig down deep, literally and figuratively here if you're Barton.
This is a time to be as physical as you've been in this game for Barton. With so much time left and a bit of momentum, big opportunity for this Barton defense.
2nd and 7 from the 18. Stewart will get it. Stewart hit hard. Stewart to the 25, maybe 24-yard line. He absorbed a really good hit in there to maybe scratch out an extra yard. 3rd down. Here it comes. 3rd and short.
And that time the offensive line got pushed towards the inside, which allows Stewart to come to the right side and get close to that 1st down marker.
Running back is Lowndes. Comes in on 3rd and short. Preston Lowndes, the back. Lowndes gets it, needs a yard. He got it. Lowndes just short of the 30. On about a 5-yard pickup, only needed the yard for the 1st down. He gets it. Under 4 to go in the 3rd. New 1st down for Limestone.
And a great block by Herman McCray, who has that touchdown earlier, number 11 on that right side. He had the key block there to create space for the 1st down. And this Limestone offense just keeps on rolling.
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line for the Saints. Noller flips it to Preston Lowndes. Now Lowndes will get mobile, lowering the shoulder, and gets just past the 40-yard line, barreling into Barton defenders. Lowndes getting physical with Derek Behringer.
You really have to think before you go at Preston with his 5'11", 250-pound frame. He is Preston the Punisher. And when you approach him to make a tackle, you're making a business decision. He's a big one.
You said it. You look at this, too. I mean, 4 touchdowns on the season coming in. Averages about 20 yards on the ground. But, yeah, he's all brute force. I mean, you're not looking at him for big numbers. You're looking at him for physicality. This is a quick hitter here to Baker, who will make this 2nd down. Gain of, we'll call this about a 7-yard gain. So 2nd and 4. They called a 6-yard gain. Check that. 2nd and 4 here. Limestone trying to get into Barton territory. 2:24 to go in the 3rd. Noller, deep shot, incomplete. Finally turning around at the end was DJ Black, the 6'3" wideout from Inman, South Carolina. He finally turned around at the end, but at that point it was incomplete. 3rd down.
Yeah, DJ, the transfer from the University of South Carolina, he couldn't spot the football. When he turned, the ball was not where he was, and so you get the incompletion and now another 3rd down. But, yeah, he had speed and he had a step on his defender, but couldn't spot the ball from Nola, the quarterback.
Black, 6 catches, over 140 yards on the season, but nothing that time. We've got movement, and Barton celebrating like it's on Limestone. And it is.
There is a big difference between 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 9.
Here's a call from Jeffrey Jones.
6 penalties on Limestone in this game, Corey.
Yeah.
Stubbed their toe a bit in this one.
Yeah, that's part of it. Mike Furry talked about it coming into the week, too. He said, look, if I have to motivate the team right now, Dennis Fowler down at Gaffney asked him, you need to motivate the team. What'd you say at halftime last week? He said, look, if I need to motivate the guys right now, I'm coaching the wrong team. So you figure Limestone will try to shake this off. Here's Noller, incomplete. He was looking for Black on the check down, couldn't hook it up. 4th down, and Limestone's going to punt.
Barton gets a break. They bring Black on the crosser. Barton had 8 in coverage. They only rushed 3. And the quarterback roller threw the ball just a little bit behind Black, and Barton's defense gets off the field, has an opportunity to get the ball back and trim this thing down to a 1-score game.
Yeah, this is a moment right here, Armand. I mean,
underline it.
Yeah, this is where, as Scott Hansen would say, wins turn to losses and losses turns to wins, however you want to phrase it. But this could be your early thing, like you said, to bookmark and underline and go back and check. If Barton can take advantage of this, here's the punt. Fair catch called for by Johnson. He scurries up to around the 30. He called the fair catch before that, but it scuttles up and pulls it in. So here comes Barton. Ready for their next drive with 2:01 to go in the 3rd. Crowd celebrated a moment ago. I'm pretty sure it was from public address because they had announced that a child had been lost, and then I think a couple moments ago Jeff on PA just announced that the child had been found. I think that was the reason for the celebration. If that's the case, that's amazing, awesome news, because the crowd really reacted to that. I mean, they were almost more focused on that, as one would be. Okay, so that's all settled. 1st and 10 from the 29. This is Lynch on a keeper. He did well to kind of fake out Limestone a bit. It's going to set up 2nd and short.
And why not, right? I mean, you've seen more of Barton this year than I have, obviously. But how has Lynch been as a runner, and how has that looked throughout the course of the season?
He's had his hot games and his colder games, to where he's had a couple games this season to where he's been a big part of the rushing presence. I mean, the numbers bear that out. Some games he can go a little bit quiet, but it is his fallback option. When he's not able, talking about Lynch, when he's not able to get it going through the air, he can revert back to a very proficient runner. Obviously, no one more proficient than Jordan Terrell, who needs 3 yards for the 1st down pickup. Looks like he's going to be about a yard short here. 3rd down coming up right now. Looks like, they're going to. It's 3rd and short. Are they going to mark this a 1st down?
1st down, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't see that at first, but they needed the 39-yard line, and the tip of the football is right on the 39-yard line. So they had enough to move the sticks. But a good job there by Barton, by that offense. Terrell, as he makes a settle, number 17 for Limestone on defense, makes a miss.
Terrell's a back, 1st and 10 from the 39. 43 seconds left to go. End around, trying to pick up a 1st down goes Cameron Johnson. That same play that he had earlier in the 3rd quarter, they tried again as Barton picks up another 1st down. That's the play that's working right now. You said it, Armand. Get Johnson going, give it to him. Instead of going through the air, keep him on the ground and do a little end around, little play there to get him free. That picked up 10 more yards.
The stats are going to mislead you a little bit, because you're going to see that Barton only has 105 passing yards to over 270 for Limestone. But Barton's had a really good day mixing and matching and diversifying their offense. And they've really looked good throughout the course of this game, especially on those sweet end-around type plays to Johnson.
Actually, an 11-yard pickup. Barton at the Limestone 49, going deep. Incomplete. There's a flag. 2 flags come in. Lynch going deep to Zekville Smith, who's been a short yardage target this season. That time Lynch went deep, and we've got penalty markers. Right at the end of the third as well.
We had a non-call in the first half, and no doubt about this one, though. Obvious contact down the field. As Barton will move on up to end the third quarter here.
Okay, that's the end of the third.
The plot thickens.
Defensive pass interference, so that's going to set up Barton. Great field position on the other side. Fourth quarter is next on Flow Sports. We are back, fourth quarter, 33-21 game. Now, as so often fans will point out, Armand, talking about college football fans, not the spot of the foul following that pass interference call on Limestone. Obviously now Barton works from left to right. They will have it at the Limestone 34 on the Zickville Smith incomplete catch try from Lynch, but this does set up Barton with good field position, and that's a classic example of just try something. Put it up down there, and maybe you get a flag or two. In that case, Barton did, and here we go. You said it right before the end of the third, Armand. Plot thickening, no kidding.
And Barton has done a good job. As I was saying, the stats are going to mislead you a little bit because you're going to see Barton only has 105 or so passing yards in this game, but the running game has been superb, and they've thrown it at opportune times.
Terrell gets it. Oh, Barton was trying to do it again. They almost fumbled it. It's Johnson who gets it. They were trying to go for, as you called it, Armand, 2 weeks ago, the Barton special. They were going to try to do it again because Lynch was right down here on the near side, ready to get it from Johnson, like Barton manufactured 2 weeks ago against Wingate, which was actually the first play ever that Barton ran in their return to football 3 years ago. That trick play, that time it almost ended in disaster.
Oh, my, and it looks so promising, too. So promising. I love the decision. I love how Barton's been methodical in play calling this offensive staff, and, they just could not make it clean before trying to throw that ball to Lynch down the field.
Now it's 2nd and 21. Lynch got to get this out. Pressure all over him. Climbing the ladder. The catch is made by Cameron Johnson at the 30-yard line, and a gain of 15.
Such a good offensive line. Limestone rushed 5 that time. The offensive line did just a good enough job of picking that up. And like you said, he really did have to climb the ladder for that one. Nice catch.
Yeah, they'll mark it at the 31, so 14-yard gain by Johnson in the air. So 3rd and 7 from the 31. So Barton did well to get back most of that negative yardage from the special play that got blown up. So Barton still driving, but needing 7 yards for a first down pickup. The give will go to Terrell. Stopped initially. Terrell looking, hurdling, and out of bounds. Back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. 4th down.
Got to be 4-down territory here for Barton. That's why you run that play call with Terrell. Maybe you can get 3 or 4 yards, and it gives you a little bit more creativity on this 4th down play. With it being 4th down and 8 here, I'm curious to see if Limestone decides to bring some pressure. We have not really seen either quarterback under that much duress in this game. Let's see if Limestone brings pressure if they lay back and play coverage here. Play clock's at 5. Got to get this off.
Barton does with 2 seconds on the play clock. Lynch hangs in. Lynch, receiver reaching out. No flag. That was Zickville Smith again. It's a turnover on downs. Lynch clamoring to the nearby official for a flag, There's none of them, and Barton will give it up and give it back to Limestone at the 32-yard line.
A precious opportunity there missed by Barton. As that pass went to the outside, and the receiver just could not get back to it, giving Limestone the ball back.
So it will be Limestone football after the turnover on downs by Barton, obviously going for that in this 12-point game. It is the fourth quarter, and this fourth quarter is brought to you by the official football sponsors, Brewmasters and the Hub, Ruckus and Redemption. Shout out to Molly and Morcos for their super support of Barton Bulldogs football all throughout 2023. Good stuff. 1st and 10 from the 32. Trey Stewart takes it to the 40-yard line for an 8-yard gain to set up 2nd and short. Coming up with Limestone now, Armand, looking to protect this 12-point lead. I think we're going to see a lot of running.
Yeah, I would think so. Protect the lead and run clock as well, because now Barton is not just competing against Limestone, but they're also playing the clock as we're winding down to the 12-minute mark in this game. And Limestone knows that. They're going to take more time to snap the ball and expect to see a heavy dose of the run game here down the stretch.
2nd and 2.
I think this is a false start on Limestone here.
You said it. 2nd and 7 coming up. Not the first one of those tonight for Limestone, for a healthy Limestone Saints team coming into tonight. Mike Furry happy about all that. He said from a major standpoint, everything was good health-wise coming in. Obviously some nicks and bruises, but otherwise, this is pretty much a fully loaded team. And here they are leading by 12 late. And Furry has been so effusive this season about some of the firsts that Limestone's been able to tackle. Ever since Furry came back from coaching with the Chicago Bears under Matt Nagy about 4 or 5 years ago, they've knocked off Carson Newman, Wingate, some of those wins for the first time ever in Limestone history. Here's Trey Stewart needing 7 yards for the pickup. He gets that and more, and out just shy of midfield. 1st down for the Saints on a Stewart run.
Limestone just picking away at that right side of the offensive line, giving Barton fits that way. And Stewart has so much confidence running to that side. He's done it all night. Thinking about the old John Madden charts they would do during the games, and they would have the play distribution. Where's the ball going? I would love to see something like that in this game, with as much as Stewart has run the ball to that right side.
Yeah, it's like a spray chart in baseball. That's right. You can pick it up visually. 1st and 10 from their own 49. Noller rolling out. Noller fires it complete, and that is a 1st down catch inside the 35-yard line. Picked up by Mikey Jones, who gets back on the score sheet. Jones with that explosive first half, and he reappears here in the fourth quarter.
Huge game for Mikey today. 140 yards receiving. Have a night, Mikey. But great job by Noller. He can multitask and improvise. He can scramble and still keep his eyes downfield to find his receivers.
Yeah, Furry loves the poise that Dustin Noller has shown week in and week out. So kind of the main thing he talked about this week down in Gaffney was about the poise of his QB, Dustin Noller. Here's Trey Stewart. Stewart trying to break one. Stewart tackled at the end and gets saved from getting a touchdown. He gets it around the 15-yard line. And the tackle looked like Mike Webb maybe in there to save Stewart from going the rest of the way. Put it at the 19 here for Limestone. They're moving.
And it's been balanced, man. It's been balanced. Stewart with well over 100 yards rushing in this game. Nola's been immaculate in the passing game. There's very little Limestone has not been able to do whenever they've wanted to do it in this game tonight.
The running back that Limestone especially missed at Wingate earlier this season. Just short of the touchdown is Stewart. He almost got that touchdown one play later. He got almost all of it back. He got 17 yards out of that one. They'll put it 1st and goal here at the 2. Limestone knocking on the door.
And Stewart's knocking on the door of 200 yards rushing here now. Getting ever closer to it.
Stewart just had that 217-yard rushing game a couple weeks ago. Stewart gets it, looking for space. He only needs 2 yards. I say he only needs it because Barton is there to clog up the lanes to post 3rd and goal. Ja'Cory Bible, second time tonight we mentioned his name. He was in there. 2nd and goal, loss of a yard that time by Stewart.
This is where the play calling and the thinking of Mike Furry and this staff starts to really rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Middle screens and shovel passes and little flips to the inside. They start window dressing and throwing a whole lot of stuff at you to catch you off guard and keep you guessing.
Yeah, that's what we've seen on a number of occasions tonight. Twice from Dixon. I mean, he's got it. The McCray touchdown was like that, where they just set up a screen. So here's your next timeout. 2nd and goal coming up from the 3. Limestone will talk it over. We're back on Flow Sports.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for our dance-off brought to you by The Hub, one of our official football sponsors. Also discounts Bulldog Nation on Wednesday through a meal special with your Barton ID. Tonight's dance-off winner is going to get a restaurant gift card. Let's get in your field, Bulldogs, and see those moves.
Second and goal from the 3. Limestone's had a chance here to talk it over. And they're looking for a touchdown to increase the lead. And with the lead standing at 12, another score could put this one almost out of reach here with 8:22 to go. Yes, but still a critical 3 yards coming up.
They've been pounding that right side of the offensive line.
Noller, end zone, incomplete. 3rd and goal. That time Noller looking in the corner of the end zone. We've got a
late flag.
Super late. Wow, that was like 5-6 seconds after the play.
That's got to be unsportsmanlike conduct or something like that, because it wasn't an in-play flag. It's got to be some John with the ref here.
That was Drew Dixon who was the target.
We'd already turned the page on that one.
I know.
That flag was thrown.
We're seeing our own replay here in the booth. Armand's looking at it right now. See if we catch anything coming back. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Dixon is turning around, barking at the official, and that's the call. That close to the end zone, got to be a little wiser. Even if you feel there's content, it's so close. You've got an opportunity to almost put this game away. Go back out there and make it happen on 3rd down. Prove to the official that you know how to get into the end zone.
And this is Drew Dixon, who's got 2 touchdowns tonight. He's going to cost his team 15 yards here. So now Limestone's backed up all the way to the 18. But up until that, it's already been a redemption night for Dixon because he muffed a punt last Saturday against Newberry that turned into a Newberry touchdown. He had sun in his eyes. He's rebounded tonight up until there. Noller just has to throw this away. 4th down. And so now here comes the field goal try.
And this is big. This is big, Corey, because if Limestone makes the field goal here, assuming they're going to kick it, it's still only a 15-point game. So now you're talking about a touchdown, extra point, touchdown, 2-point conversion for Barton ties the game. So that penalty there by Dixon has kept the door open for Barton. A huge play working in Barton's favor. We'll see how they respond. But first, Limestone's got to make this field goal.
What D. Martin used to say, the door is still open to my heart. How about the door is still open on this game? Here comes your field goal try. Daniel Deneen Jr., that one got blocked. There's your play on special teams. Who raves more about special teams around here than Barton? That time, Daniel Deneen Jr. had his field goal try blocked. This game is still 12 degrees of separation.
There's a heartbeat in Wilson. This crowd has come alive. All of that starts. It's amazing what one penalty can do. You and I have talked about this on other occasions. Certain penalties are like turnovers. Because you could argue that that penalty took points off the board from Limestone. Now, granted, the special teams unit for Limestone has to hold up, but that one penalty keeps Barton alive.
You said it, from the 31-yard line, maybe new life here for Barton. Terrell takes it out for a couple.
Let's see if Barton can pick up the pace a little bit. Barton with 2 timeouts, Limestone with 2. And of course, you still want Terrell active in this game on the ground, but with 7.5 left, time is of the essence on this senior night in Wilson.
Call it on that blocked field goal. Joshua Shockley, who got the recovery. Now here's Heinzman looking for space. Heinzman gets speared inside the 40. Another flag. 2 of them coming in.
Field judge launched one from about midfield towards the 40-yard line. And then there was another flag thrown, and Barton says there's a face mask here. And it was. Defense, Limestone.
That's 15 yards as called by Jeffrey Jones, the referee.
And I'm telling you what, if I'm Barton right here, I'm taking a shot, man. You know Terrell is always a threat. If it's play action, see if you can get those linebackers to cheat up a bit. Maybe get some single coverage on the outside. I'm taking a shot, man. It's senior night, your last home game. Let's see what we can do here. Johnson, get those boys ready on the outside.
You got it. Yeah, lest we forget, it is senior night, so what else do you expect? Lynch flips it. Oh, off the fingertips. That would have been a breakaway. That was Jaden Flood Brown, who probably would be in the end zone right now if he had been able to pull that in. Oh, man, what a missed opportunity for Barton.
Oh, man, the one that got away off his fingertips. Oh, play call perfect. The execution is perfect. Flood Brown is probably in the end zone right now, and this crowd is going crazy.
As it is, 2nd and 10. Try it again. From the Limestone 46, Terrell in motion. Lynch steps through. Lynch goes deep on the far side to Johnson. That's incomplete. 3rd down on the way.
And that is really good coverage that time. That was John Gregory, graduate student, transfer from Ohio University. He had him locked down on the outside there. That one still stings a little bit, though.
Oh, yeah. This harkens back to what both coaches have talked about all week. I mean, you couldn't have 2 differences of opinion on their own teams coming into the week. Chip Hester said, we got to put this behind us. I got to get these guys to believe again. He's been owning all of this losing streak. Meanwhile, Mike Furry's like everything's good. What can Barton do here? Flip from Lynch to Terrell. And Terrell, that play gets extinguished quickly. He got maybe a yard or 2 out of that. 4th down is on the way. And Barton, you would assume, got to go for it again.
And that is a huge open field tackle by Dadrian Lyman. We heard from him earlier. He's got to make that tackle on the outside, and he makes it to force this 4th and long for Barton.
4th and 8 for the Dogs from the St. 44.
So we're right back here again with Barton having to try to pick up not a 4th and short, but a 4th and 8. The last time Barton was in this position, seems like it was just moments ago, but they went incomplete to Zickville Smith. Lynch drops. He's got time. Lynch goes deep to Cameron Johnson. Touchdown! Cameron Johnson from Lynch and punches it in right when Barton needed it the most. The flag down.
It's an offsides on the defense, so this touchdown is going to stand. What a job by Lynch on the scramble, man. Limestone brought a blitz. Lynch does a great job of rolling out, and Johnson makes a marvelous play with 2 defenders down there on him. And just like that, we've got a 1-score ball game with 6 minutes left.
The chemistry between those two, I mean, you can't describe it. That's Johnson's 6th touchdown of the season, and if Barton ever needed one, they did right there. Here's Huggins trying to make this a 5-point game. Flippin's hold is critical. Clean hold. Huggins, extra point is good. This is a 5-point game with 5:53 to go. More magic from Lynch and Johnson, and more's on the other side when we come back on Flow Sports. Just under 6 to go in this game. Things have changed drastically. This is now a 5-point game, and Barton's ready to kick it away back to Limestone after Lynch and Cameron Johnson made more magic. Lynch's scramble, and what a catch by Johnson to set this up. And now defense at the forefront of Barton's mind. Limestone can still win this game and win it their way, but Barton, it's all about the defense now as Huggins sends it away, backed up to the 5-yard line. The return is also crucial here for Limestone, pounding it ahead, getting it out to the 25. Not a bad return of about 21 yards that time to set things up as Baker brought it out. And what did we just talk about? We said Barton's back, you know what they need to do. Now you really know what Barton needs to do here. Defense has never been more paramount than it is now.
Right. Just to recap, 6 plays, 69-yard drive, and they do it in just 1 minute and 59 seconds. Get that 44-yard touchdown pass from Lynch to Johnson for the score, and it's a 5-point game. That extra point was big, too, because if Barton gets another touchdown here, they've got the lead, assuming they don't allow Limestone to score anymore.
Next drive for Limestone starts at the 25. Here's Stewart. Stewart got out of a tackle, gets a first down, and gliding past the 35-yard line. He had 2 tackles to break, and he broke them both.
Corey, how do you stop an offensive line that is this powerful, this productive, and this potent? How do you do it? They've got massive guys on that front, and that right side of the offensive line, I mean, you don't move them. You do not move those guys. They're so strong, so big, that you do not move them, and it's hard to get penetration.
That was Stewart's 23rd carry of the night. He's over 200 yards tonight. And Stewart gets it again, this time for a much shorter gain, second down. 2 timeouts left aside, 5 minutes to go. And a 2-yard gain that time by Stewart.
And as I mentioned, not only does Limestone have great size up front, these are veteran players, D1 transfers, graduate students, seniors and juniors, experienced players who have the size, who have the wisdom, who have the knowledge, being coached by one of the absolute best. It's hard to stop that.
2nd and 8. Somehow Barton has to find a way to do what they have struggled to do tonight, and that's contain Stewart, who again is over 200 on the night. Just feeding Stewart. Now here he goes again. Look at Stewart. He's got a first down. Now he's inside of Barton territory. And right now Stewart is dragging back the momentum for his team. He's got it inside of Barton territory. He's 200 plus and chugging.
You know what greatness is, Corey?
Yeah.
It's when I know there's a flag down.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, yeah.
Yep, there's a flag down.
This is coming back, Armand.
It is. It's a hole on Limestone.
Too much room for Stewart.
So I was getting ready to go into this great little speech about what greatness is, and I was going to say that greatness is when I know what you're going to do and I know where you're going to go, but you're still not able to stop it, and that time Limestone hurt themselves.
Not the first one of those tonight on Limestone.
Penalties, Corey.
Yeah, and you know what? As usual, you bring it up, and I think about it, and you're exactly right. That is a big part of why Barton is still alive in this game. Some of these unforced errors by Limestone. Just saw BP Cox down there waving the rally towel. Barton's into this senior night. Limestone trying to withstand the pressure. 2nd and long. Barton needs an open field tackle quick on Stewart. They get it, and it's 3rd down. Bible in there again with the tackle. Here you go. No 3rd down has been more crucial today and tonight than this one.
This is a gigantic play. I'm wondering, does Barton dare bring pressure here? Do they dare blitz and try to get to Nola, which has not happened really at all in this game? Do they dare bring pressure? Do they try and lay back and play coverage, aware of the fact that if you do that, you give Nola some time, and these great receivers who know how to run good routes, you give them an opportunity to get open.
Well, Limestone's taking this clock all the way down. You figure now they're going to call a timeout. 1 timeout left. They just wanted to use up more of that clock. 3:27 to go. Now you take your timeout. We will too. And then on the other side, it's 3rd down on Flo Sports. Third and 8. Busy day in the South Atlantic Conference. Carson Newman, 52-7 over UVA Wise. Emory and Henry all over Erskine. We've got the late game, though, here. Those final scores once we're finished. This is the final game on this second to last Saturday of the season in the South Atlantic Conference, and it could be one of the best all year. 3rd and 8. This crowd's never been more loud than they are right now at Truist. Noller slings it, picked up by Baker for a crowd quieting 1st down.
That's a senior running a great route. So I asked the question before we went to break, how would Barton defend it? Would they bring pressure or would they play coverage? And that time they rushed 3. That's a great route. That's chemistry. That's practice. That's repetition. That's veteran leadership, calm and poise, all coming into the equation. And a huge 1st down for Limestone. And now at some point, Barton's going to start to have to take some timeouts here.
That one was the biggest pickup of the night. Baker, who's been relatively quiet for 8 yards that time to get a 1st down. Now, keep it on the ground here with Stewart. Stewart stays up. Stewart to the 40-yard line, crosses midfield, and picks up 14 yards on that one to add to his incredible night in the penultimate week of the regular season.
This offensive line, man, I mean, A+ effort. So well coached, so well trained, and they have given Stewart all the room he wants, averaging almost 9 yards a carry tonight. Just an outstanding game. When you've needed him the most to make big plays to try and run clock, this offensive line and Stewart has answered the call.
Stewart, 26 carries, 225, and 2 touchdowns. This time Barton has a bit more of an answer to him, and it will set up 2nd down. We've got a timeout. Shane Perry in there with the stop. So timeout, 1:50 to go.
Looks like Barton's strategy there was to wait to the 2-minute mark to start using timeouts. They have 2 remaining. 1 timeout remaining for Barton. 1 timeout left for Barton. They can only stop the clock one more time, and really here's the situation. If Limestone gets another first down, this game is about as close to over as it could be. And so if one more first down here, and that's pretty much it, and Limestone's got to be thinking about that. And I would expect to see Stewart again. How about this 228 rushing yards on 27 carries for Trey Stewart. And meanwhile, Nola's just been kind of relaxing here in the second half.
Yeah.
Let me just hand it off. Barton scored the last 14 points of the game. It was 33-14.
Right.
And even with Barton putting some pressure on Limestone, Nola and those guys have just been able to hand it off to Stewart and say, hey, offensive line, do your thing. Stewart, do your thing. And Stewart's like, okay, let me go get 230 in the game today.
He's gone over that 217-yard performance he had at Lenore Ryan, talking about Stewart. Here's Barton. Now they're starting to tighten up on Trey Stewart. And third down is coming up. Tackle made by the indefatigable Matt Smith for Barton. Third down, and there's your last timeout, I think.
Yeah. So here it is, right? It's third down. It's third down and 9. So if you're Barton, you're feeling good about that. I don't expect them to blitz here. I would expect them to do what we saw them do last time, play coverage, and hope that they can confuse Nola enough to keep these receivers from making some catch, because once again, if Limestone picks up another first down here, this game is pretty much over.
And also, for those wondering, Daniel Deneen Jr. this season, Armand, his long is 53. So if this gets down to a situation where maybe it's 4th and short, and they think about maybe trying for 3 points to make it an 8-point game, that's what you're looking at, is a 53-yard field goal as the longest of the season for Deneen.
Don't forget we had a block, too.
Right.
That could come into play in helping Mike Furry make a decision if they don't pick up this first down on 3rd and 9.
Yeah, that's a heads up. That's a really heads up point. That's certainly probably lurking in the mind. 3rd and 9. No timeouts left for Barton. 1:45 left, and the Bulldogs need another stop.
Limestone 7 of 11 on 3rd downs tonight. No bigger one than this one.
Nola deep to Baker. There's a flag. There's a flag. Oh, and Barton's secondary can't believe it.
Penalty marker on the play.
Colby Anderson down there on the ground. He's still down on the ground. And Chip Hester is as livid as you'll ever see Chip Hester right now.
Yep. That's it. There's the penalty call by the ref. And, man, in a game where Limestone has been undisciplined in some spots, looking back at it, there was some grabbing, a little contact. I felt like it was both ways, though, inside the 25-yard line. But, man, just really takes the wind out of your sails there, because that's the ball game, more or less.
And so now Limestone, just like that, all hope extinguished. Limestone will take another knee or two, and they
Now some
are now,
pushing and shoving, Corey,
Yeah.
right after the play. Just a little bit of stuff. Frustration for Barton.
Yeah, you would to be expected. I mean, this is one of these games, much like Wingate at home here 2 weeks ago, how Barton has been able to rally in the second halves but come up just short. Chip Hester says it all the time. It has been frustrating.
It has. And he challenged this team coming into the week to put together a complete game, and such a valiant effort here in this second half. They were down 33-14, and they could have easily folded. They could have easily quit. They could have easily said, you know what, this Limestone offense is too powerful as Limestone calls timeout. But they came back and they fought. And, man, you can't help but wonder. And, of course, the conversation, so much of the conversation will be about that flag on the 3rd down, which is going to give Limestone the opportunity. As you take a look at Chip Hester talking with the officials, he's not done yet talking about that pass interference. That one is going to sting on senior night. Barton had been undefeated at home throughout the season, and then homecoming comes. They get down to Wingate and have to scratch and claw to get back, lose that one, and then on senior night here, an historic senior night, as this is the first 4-year period for Barton football, and looks like they're going to come up just a wee bit short here by 5 points to a supremely talented Limestone team.
Another knee, and everyone kind of tumbles on top of each other. So we got 37 on the play clock, which means you got to take one more knee here. I should make a mention, I didn't know this until now, but this broadcast tonight, which is the ultimate tip of the cap to our entire crew, this broadcast was actually the South Atlantic Conference Athletics Football Game of the Week on FloFootball. So we've been featured throughout. I wanted to make a mention of that. I think that's a recognition of every part of our talented crew to put the spotlight here tonight on the only night game of Week 10 in the South Atlantic Conference. There's your last knee by Noller, and Limestone is 7-3, 7-1 in the South Atlantic Conference. Barton outscores Limestone 14-7 after halftime, but like Wingate 2 weeks ago, it's just not quite enough. Barton falls to 500, 5-5, and 3-5 in the South Atlantic Conference. And you and I were here 2 weeks ago, Armand. It's the same kind of deal again, to where Barton charges in the second half, but comes up just short.
And you know, it really goes back to what we talked about in the South Atlantic Conference, how tough it is. The competition is so tough. The Lenore Rhines, the Wingates, the Limestones of the world. But you have to give this Limestone offense in particular so much credit. They came out with amazing pace. They were moving with rapidity in the first half and really, really put Barton behind. And Barton spent so much of this game trying to get back and recover from the onslaught that we saw from the Limestone offense in the first half in particular.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome into the broadcast booth again, everyone. Before you hop, this is Armand Brody. We've been with you throughout, and just recapping this game for those maybe just tuning in, maybe for those who have been with us all throughout the night, Armand. And yeah, you just said it. Much like Wingate 2 weeks ago here at home, when Armand and I were here as well with you on Flow Sports and Flow Football, Barton fell down early. In fact, this was another game, looked like it was going to be a Limestone runaway. Then, for whatever Chip Hester has said, he's one of the most, quiet coaches you'll ever find, one of the most even-keeled, even-tempered coaches you'll find. He said something to them over these last couple of home locker rooms. This team came out and didn't look all that great early stages of the third quarter either, Armand, but not just the Johnson play, of course, which will be one of the highlights of the night, but this Barton team fought. The defense was there when it needed to be. Of course, the blocked field goal. But again, 5 points short. Barton, if nothing else, though, showing major fight tonight.
Absolutely. And even with what we saw from Limestone's offense, in particular that offensive line, so powerful, they kept pounding it on that right side with Stewart. But you saw a Barton team, they used Lynch with his legs. They got him mobile. Johnson made a spectacular play. Jordan Terrell was his usual outstanding self. And so a lot to feel good about. I know it stings, especially on senior night for this Barton team. But you have to give them a lot of credit for scoring the last 14 points of this game, finding themselves down 19, and still fighting at home and coming that close to taking down a really talented Limestone team.
Yeah, so close again, as of course, as they always say, so close yet so far it may feel, especially on senior night. Well, of course, we've talked about the spotlight that was shown on our game tonight. Let's also shine the spotlight on Limestone. Talk about Dustin Noller, the quarterback, who you said, Armand, as well. Look, here's someone who really just had to hand the football off a lot. Make sure you make clean handoffs, but still that's part of it. But, of course, the story will obviously be Trey Stewart and what he did throughout his second 200-plus yard game on the season on the ground. After what he did a couple weeks ago, he came back here to Limestone with Limestone tonight in Wilson and added to that his second 200-plus yard game of the season. And like Mike Furry earlier in the week, the O-line, give them as you say, give them their flowers.
Absolutely. We came into this game, or at least I did, and I'm sure you did too, talking about Dustin Noller, this high-powered offense. Noller, the best passer in the South Atlantic Conference coming into this game. Jelani Baker, as excellent and outstanding as he is as the leading receiver in the South Atlantic Conference, and we expected them to put on a show, and we saw some of that in the first half with Nolan in particular. He connected with Drew Dixon. Dixon had 2 touchdowns in this game, but after a while, you just started handing the ball off to Stewart, and even though, as we talked about in the fourth quarter, Barton knew what was coming. They knew Limestone wanted to go off that right side. They could not stop it, and Stewart ends up with more than 220 rushing yards in this game. It was that kind of effort for Limestone today. Barton just could not come up with enough answers to slow down and suffocate this Limestone offense, and that's why Limestone gets their 4th win in a row.
It's paramount as well, Armand, because here's a Limestone team that even Mike Furry said earlier in the week. Again, we talk about someone like Furry. When you get to the NFL and you play for as many teams as he did, the Rams, the Lions, among others, plus you coach for a couple years in the NFL, here's someone who commands respect. I mean, someone who comes in, anyone that makes it to that level, automatic respect. And this is a coach who, now in his 2nd stint with Limestone, as you said, Armand, earlier, they're even better than before. But he even said earlier this week, just a couple weeks to go in the season, you've still got to pay attention. You've got to keep your focus because, and Hester for Barton said this earlier in the week as well. He said, look, he actually thinks that some of the big picture talk from earlier this season was something that maybe hurt Barton at times. So he tried to say, look, we got to focus this week. Look yourself in the mirror. And sure enough, Barton looked that part in the second half. But for Limestone, they escape out of here with a win to make it now 4 straight wins. They've won 7 of their last 8. Apart from Lenore Ryan, I mean, it's Lenore Ryan and Limestone right now in the SAC.
You're right. And here's the thing about Limestone that's scary. You want to be playing your best football at this time of the year.
Right.
And for the most part, they are.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we saw the penalties. They had 11 penalties in this game, and they got to work on that going forward if they want to really make some hay even later here in the season. But for the most part, you're talking about a team that's really clicking right now. This defense is making opportune plays. I was really impressed with Nolan and some of the passes he was making because Barton played a lot of coverage in this game. They played a lot of zone, 3-man rushes, sometimes bringing a 4th man, but not really trying to blitz too much and trying to throw Nolan off a bit with some of those on some of those pass plays.
Yeah.
But he was able to carve up, especially in the first half, was able to carve up Barton's defense playing that zone coverage and find some receivers for some really big plays in that first half. And that can be really discouraging and demoralizing to a defense. And Barton had to face that in particular in the first half.
Yeah, you do go back and you look at that late drive by Limestone. Of course, the Baker pickup is the one that you'll remember. That was the first 3rd down on that drive. You needed that. Of course, then it's Limestone backed up on 3rd and 8, and they decide to go out for a pass play. That's going to be the one that obviously sticks in everyone's minds. Well, especially so for Barton. For Limestone, that's one that penalty falls your way, so it doesn't linger as much. You won the game. But for Barton, I can already hear Chip Hester now in our post-game Zoom thinking about that last call. You know, he was pretty demonstrative about it, which is a rarity from Hester. So you could tell maybe he was on the fence about it. But that was really the one that did it. But still, Barton was in a position to where if that penalty flag doesn't fly, you've got a little over a minute to do something. So, again, a case of so close, yet it seems so far for Barton. But they've hung in with Wingate. They've hung in with Limestone. I know the results aren't there, but it's been some good fight at home for Barton last 2 games.
You make a really good point. It's so easy in these situations to just get so discouraged, so dispirited that you say, you know what? We can't do this. Right. There's no use in trying to come back. There's no use in trying to fight. But I'm really impressed. And we saw it the last time we were here, the Wingate game. We saw a similar situation. It's crazy how similar the situations are from the 2 games that you and I have seen here at Barton this year. But a Barton team that had every opportunity to fold, had every opportunity to say, you know what? Our fight is over. This is our last home game of the year. We're just going to lay down and die. And they did not do that. They gave this Limestone team everything they could handle in the second half. We saw spectacular plays like the catch from Johnson.
Yeah.
We saw big runs from Terrell. We saw him coming out of the passing game and coming out of the backfield making some big catches as well. And so I give Barton credit for that, even in the loss. You've got to find those positives, and there's still reasons for Barton to be encouraged despite them losing their 5th game of the season.
Yeah, it hasn't been the finish to the season that Barton obviously would have wanted, but major fight in these last 2 games, home games especially. And Catawba was like that last week, to lead 21-10, to ultimately lose out. It's been a tough way to finish the regular season. Of course, one more week left for both of these teams, Limestone and Barton. Of course, Barton's on the road at Erskine next Saturday to wrap up 2023. We'll touch on Limestone right before we go, but obviously a busy day around the South Atlantic Conference. You kind of know your favorites right now. But one of those games to where you have two teams coming together for a game that didn't initially look very promising in terms of competitiveness, but got to be pretty exciting in that fourth quarter. And again, a credit to both of these coaches as well for a well-fought game as we get set to wrap it up.
And let me say this, too, before we leave. Thank you for you hosting me and bringing me into the Barton family. I appreciate that. Much appreciated, man.
No problem, my friend. Yeah, it's always fun when we get together to do this wherever we get the opportunities to do it. Of course, no better place than here at Barton College. It's one of those, we always like to call it one of those last day of school kind of things to where all right, it's the last home game. And that's when you start to say not a final goodbye, but a temporary goodbye to, of course, the entire team that makes it all possible. Of course, that starts with John Cars, our sports information director, who gave me the chance and who continues to just give everyone opportunities to be their best selves. Plus, he's one of the best at making sure we're prepared with stats and notes and making sure that everything's set up. He is one of the best and does so much himself without that big of a team around him. He is a one-man show. So obviously a big thanks to John Cars. Of course, everyone here at Barton on a secondary level. Outside of that, of course, Dr. Searcy with Barton, who has always been a friend of the broadcast. He's a big part of that. Douglas Searcy here in Wilson. And, of course, our team that's back with us again, and we couldn't especially do any of this without anyone here in the booth. Of course, that starts with Grant Robertson, who works replay, works everything for us. He was showing us some of the plays during the break, and he makes sure that everything is set up and a comedy himself as well. Keeps everything lighthearted, and we love that. And, of course, Kelly McHugh, who has one of the toughest jobs ever, which is making sure that everything is managed, making sure every camera angle is right. She's working the cameras upstairs and make sure everything is where it should be. It is a total team effort. I always say that, and it's never more truer and more poignant than it is tonight. So that's it for 2023. As I say that, John Carr slides the stats under the door like a Christmas present. So, to that point, there it is. But that's it for the home season in 2023 for Barton. One more week left. Barton heads to Erskine next Saturday to wrap it up. But it has been fun. And now everyone, of course, one more week until 2024.
Promise me this before we go. If you folks do bring me back next year, promise me you'll wear this sweater again for one of our broadcasts.
For as much as this was, I'm going to wear it to bed. I'm going to do everything with it. That's right. This one may never come off, which for some people say that's a good thing. Makes you look slimmer. Keep wearing that sweater. No, that's a bet. That's a promise and a bet right there. It's been a privilege and an honor and a joy to again be back here in Wilson, North Carolina this season. And a special thanks as well to Flo Sports and FloFootball featuring our game tonight, posting highlights, doing a great job to give us a little bit of a pat on the back as well. That's it for 2023 here at home. Barton's on the road next week. Limestone back at home. Both teams wrap up the regular season next Saturday, and then it's on to the postseason. And, of course, we look forward already to 2024. Enjoy the upcoming holiday season, everything this weekend as well, and we will see you in 2024. Good night from Wilson, North Carolina.
Telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA's consent is prohibited.